that means. It's going to be a throwback Thursday live stream. And this week, the topic that won the poll was Shawn Michaels, widely regarded as one of the greatest of all time. If you guys are familiar with the channel and familiar with the content that we produce here on J Area Wrestling, you know I'm a little biased. You know I'm a big fan of the Heartbreak Kid, has multiple nicknames to go along with the Heartbreak Kid, the main event, the icon, Mr. WrestleMania. So many nicknames, so many accolades that go with Shawn Michaels. I don't think there's any question that universally he is praised as one of the all time greats with good reason. You know, the accolades, the matches, the memories, and even the contributions that are still being added to this day in WWE. Sammy says, "Did you just start?" Yeah, we're just starting right now. 8:30, just starting up now, giving some people a chance to check out the live stream and enter the chat. We always try to give people a little bit of a time to start. Hopefully everyone's having a great evening. Hopefully Thursday treated you well. We're getting one step closer to the weekend. Hopefully you guys have something planned. And if not, hey, there's still plenty of time to get some plans going. But nonetheless, here on another Thursday, another throwback Thursday stream. And like I said, this week, Shawn Michaels was the winning topic. We had a few. Sammy already with a banger right there. HBK versus Taker will always be iconic. And you know what's the crazy thing? When it comes to those two, you could say which time. Because, I mean, hey, the Hell in a Cell in 97, all-time classic. Their battle at the Royal Rumble 2007, all-time classic ending to a Royal Rumble. WrestleMania 25 and WrestleMania 26, those guys, whenever they got in the ring together, always created magic. Always were able to deliver a show, and on top of that, delivered to the legacy that both men had. The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, synonymous with one another. I mean, you can't say one without the other. Big proponents of each other's careers, and like I said, still having quite the impact to this day. A great pick there by Sammy for Shawn Michaels. Obviously, with these Thursday streams, it's kind of like an opportunity for a little bit of a retrospective, looking back at the careers, the good times, the bad times of these respective wrestlers. We've had some times where it was a dark side of the ring, and more recently, we've gotten some interest in regards to the longevity to the careers of select stars. For example, a couple weeks ago, we talked about the ninth wonder of the world, China, her life, her career, and her legacy to the professional wrestling business. Eddie Guerrero was just last week as well. Two of the most influential stars of their generations, arguably of all time, or maybe not arguably of all time. And now this week we have Shawn Michaels, again, one of the GOATs, widely regarded as one of the GOATs, but by yours truly, really considered the GOAT. Big fan of his. Obviously, you see the t-shirt, had to represent. Shout out to, oh, what's going on? Mansoor in the chat. Yeah. Hi, how are you? Glad you can join us. This is your opportunity to share some of your favorite. What's up, man? I'm doing well. Doing well. What's going on with you? Hopefully you're doing well as well. Death Life says, man, I could beat Shawn Michaels. I don't know, man. Well, hey, to be fair, Shawn Michaels doesn't have the best record at WrestleMania per se, but I mean, in terms of putting up a match, Shawn Michaels is unmatched as one of the greatest of all time. But Death Life already putting up a challenge towards HBK there. But like I said, this is your opportunity to share in the chat some of your favorite memories, some of your favorite matches when it comes to Shawn Michaels, even some dream matches that we never got to see. What were some matches that you would have liked? Death Life says, in a breakdance contest. You know what? I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue that. I don't know if Shawn can break dance. I don't know. Death Life in the chat, though, says in a breakdance contest. But Shawn Michaels has a career that spans several decades. You know, having started in the 80s, wrestled in the 90s, the 2000s, technically the 2010s as well, because he had that run in 2010 and a certain match in 2018 that we don't like to acknowledge, but it still happened. Championships across multiple promotions, for example, the AWA and the WWE most prominently. Death Life says, my favorite WWF event was Michaels and Bret Hart in the Iron Man match, WrestleMania 12. Arrowhead Pond. It was Anaheim, California. A classic matchup, kind of a divisive matchup, actually. It's interesting that you bring that up, Death Life. I'm a fan of it. I like the Iron Man match, but some people are divisive whether or not that was actually a good match. I think it was, but some people want to tell you otherwise. Goop Hinder says, hi, what's going on? Thank you for joining. Do you think someday we could meet and make Hamburger Helper together? I'm gonna tell you right now, I've never had Hamburger Helper. To tell you the truth, I've never had it. So I wish I could tell you an answer, but I've never made it. Someday we can meet. Stranger things have happened. Never say never. Like in pro wrestling, you never say never. Shout out to the hearts in the chat. Appreciate that. Sammy says the entrance at WrestleMania 25 can't be topped. Again, thank you for the hearts in the chat. I'd have to agree. I mean, it was a great symbolism of, light versus darkness. Shawn Michaels descending from the heavens. Obviously, we know about his time being a born again Christian, battling against the Undertaker, who reigns as like the Prince of Darkness, ascending from below. A great visual, a great visual. And what I love about that entrance as well is that it was unique, right? You still, again, Sammy points it out, you still remember it, even though it was, 16 years ago. It sticks out as one of the best entrances. I love how there was so much fog and smoke. So for a moment there, you couldn't see Shawn Michaels, and he emerges from the smoke, and of course carries on with the classic HBK entrance. Great shout out there by Sammy. But Shawn Michaels, born in July 22nd of 1965, ironically enough, known to be from San Antonio, Texas, but he was actually born in Chandler, Arizona, a member of a military family. So he wasn't a stranger to moving around. Legacy in itself, like we talked about his many nicknames, Mr. WrestleMania, the Icon, the Heartbreak Kid, the Headliner, the Main Event, the Icon, the Showstopper. You could keep on going. You get it. He was one of those wrestlers that was very dependable, reliable. If you needed a great matchup, Shawn was one of those guys that you can just throw in with anybody. In fact, Shawn Michaels was one of the co-founders of Degeneration X, as well as one of those guys that they trusted with a lot of their first-time matches. Shawn Michaels participated in the first ladder match in the WWE, the first Hell in a Cell match, the first Elimination Chamber, the first ever Hell in a Cell. Always was someone that they could definitely rely on, and you knew that you were going to get a quality performance. John Cena in the chat says, never forget I beat him at WrestleMania 23. It was a great matchup. WrestleMania 23 was a great matchup. Even on Monday Night Raw, they had a near 1 hour battle in London, England. Shawn Michaels and John Cena, again, two of the greatest to ever do it, had solid matches. Cringe says, but Undertaker's the greatest ever. That's your opinion. And you know what? If someone were to tell me the Undertaker was the GOAT, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue at all. The Undertaker's one of, if not the greatest. Again, here, I think it's Shawn, but the Undertaker is a solid pick. I'm not going to argue against you. Deathlife says, I actually got to meet Rikishi in real life. I have to say he's very family-oriented and very kind. I could see that. I look at the Anoa'i family, and in this case, the Fatu family, being very family-oriented. I mean, these guys have a family business, essentially. So many people that have come and gone that are a part of their family, and also leaving quite the mark in the business. I don't doubt it. That's cool. That's awesome that you were able to meet Rikishi, though. One of the best. One of the best. Sammy says first ladder match with Razor Ramon. Yeah, WrestleMania 10. Again, Mr. WrestleMania had a solid matchup against Razor Ramon to crown the undisputed Intercontinental Championship. But also, it's a little known fact that he actually had the first ladder match against Bret Hart. It was like a taped event, and those two actually had the first ladder match. But the WrestleMania 10 match was the first televised matchup. A great point there by Sammy. Quite the historian is Sammy. We love to hear it. Awesome. Awesome. Cringe says Brock Lesnar is something different and the GOAT of the UFC and the WWE. I would say he's probably one of the GOATs in terms of combat sports. I'm not going to put him singularly as like the WWE or the UFC. Definitely one of the biggest stars for sure. Also a big draw. I mean, Brock would make money. People would see his fights, or they would pay to see his fights, I should say. So, for sure. Snapshot Sniper says family first. Couldn't agree with you more. Couldn't agree with you more. We're very family-oriented here as well in the J area, so I agree with that. Games Pronounced Game says, yeah, they agree. WCW was and still is the best there was. WCW, for all intents and purposes, was great. They had a great stretch there from the mid 90s. It wasn't until like the late or to the early 2000s, I should say, that they were struggling in the year 2000. Not blackface. Ignore me if you like. That's crazy. Konnichiwa, says Soul Ninja. Hola. Sean's movement in the ring was something else. He's awesome. Again, all around performer, could definitely go with anybody. He was one of those guys who you could put in the ring with any styles. A big dude, a small dude, a technician, a high flyer. Sean could adapt to anybody. Where in the Bay are you from? So I'm technically not from the Bay. I have family out over there. Grew up a Bay Area fan, but I can't say I was born there. Muhammad says, "Happy Thursday. What's going on, my friend? Appreciate you. Thank you for joining us here in the live stream." I already answered that. Bro, do you know I Show Speed? I'm aware of him. I don't know him personally, but that spear that he took at the Royal Rumble, that's gonna be remembered for years to come for sure. Yeah, right before Vince bought it, WCW was played out. Yeah, they had a great run, but again, that last year and a half was really its downfall. WCW, though, for all intents and purposes, was great. I have to agree with you. What's going on? I see some new people in the chat. What's going on? Welcome, guys. Chris Benoit was one of the best. I'd have to agree. You know, I always have to set a little bit of a note there that, hey, we don't support what he did, but I do think it's difficult to ignore that he was one of the greatest of all time. Technician, grappler, was one of the best. It's just what happened after what happened at the end of his life. Obviously, is going to take precedent. But Benoit was one of my favorites growing up as well. Thursday's been treating me well. Hopefully, you guys as well. I want Benoit tragedy never happens. I really do. Yeah, no, I feel like we all do, Muhammad. I'd have to agree with you. Kurt says, "Bro, what did you say about an Indian guy's died?" I don't know what that means, but okay. I heard Sean fought like 5 army guys in a bar. Ironically enough, yeah, it was in 1995, I believe. It was 94 or 95. It was 95 because 94 was the steroid or the allegation, because he still denies it. Shawn Michaels was nominated, or not even nominated, he was awarded Match of the Year 11 times by Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and then an additional 4 times by the Wrestling Observer. Whether or not you want to take credence into those outlets, it is still something to acknowledge. Shawn Michaels, born not even as Shawn Michaels, his name was Michael Shawn Hickenbottom. What a last name for a pro wrestler, but never was a fan of the name Michael. Always went by Shawn, and it stuck with him till this day. Like I said, he was a military family, so he was very familiar with moving around in different areas. It was at the age of 12 that he finally set his mind that, hey, I'm going to be a pro wrestler. Grew up a fan of Ric Flair, as many people during that time period were. He was, he was the example. He was the one that they wanted to emulate. And funny enough, that's what Shawn Michaels would end up being to an entire generation of wrestlers. So essentially following in the footsteps of his idol. Let's not forget DX. Oh yeah, no, Triple H and Shawn Michaels, Degeneration X, one of the greatest factions, my favorite faction of all time. And to see those guys as the anti-authority members of the roster, and now seeing them run the show, Triple H running the main roster and Shawn Michaels running NXT, it's real funny to believe that these guys are running the company, running the biggest pro wrestling company in the world. Shawn Michaels can't survive in front of Lesnar. That's true. Hey, I would have loved to have seen it, though. I think for sure Lesnar probably would have got the one. He probably would have won that matchup, but I still would have loved to have seen it. Shawn against Brock Lesnar, trying to evade him, use his speed, use his quickness, use his veteran experience to his advantage, for sure. For sure, that's a matchup I would have loved to have seen. Snapshot Sniper says Goldberg. I like Goldberg. I do. He's not for me. He's not a GOAT for me. I think he's one of the greatest in WCW. But for my personal preference, I'm not going to put him over Shawn. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. What do you say about The Fiend? The Fiend is my favorite iteration of Bray Wyatt. It was something different. I'm very much into the spooky supernatural aspects of pro wrestling, seeing the entrance, seeing the gear, the mask, everything about that character. I was intrigued. I loved it. The Firefly Funhouse was awesome. The matchup itself between John Cena and Bray Wyatt I thought was phenomenal. A creative force in professional wrestling that unfortunately we will never get to appreciate fully, really, because it was still very early during that career of Bray Wyatt. He had been on the roster for nearly a decade, and I feel like there was so much left on the table with Bray. It's really sad to have seen someone so young and have so much to offer, not even just the business but the world, to lose someone like that. Big shout out to Sammy in the chat because that's probably my favorite Survivor Series team of all time. 2006 Survivor Series, DX, the Hardys, and CM Punk. You're talking about my favorite faction, Degeneration X. My favorite tag team in the Hardys. Shawn's already my favorite wrestler, but my second favorite wrestler is CM Punk. So, I mean, that 2006 team is an all timer, and it was a clean sweep. Nobody on that team was eliminated. They defeated Team Rated RKO, which, if memory serves, was Edge, Randy Orton, Mike Knox, Johnny Nitro, and Gregory Helms, I believe, was 2006's team against Team DX. Shield or DX? Oh, that's tough. That's tough. For me, I'm still gonna say DX, but the Shield, they're an all timer. They're an all timer. The Shield is fantastic. All Hall of Famers in their own right. All world champions. That's a good one. Appreciate that. Thank you. The reason why Bray Wyatt died is because he basically left his. Yes, this is correct. Hi, what's going on? I don't eat water, but I drink it. Unless if you eat ice. DX Revolution. I'm still gonna go DX. I'm still gonna go DX. Nothing against Evolution. Again, very much a fan of Evolution, but DX is my favorite faction. You're not gonna sway me there. You're gonna give me times where it's like, oh man, hey, it's tough. It's a tough pick, like the Shield one, but DX for sure. Good morning, Kane of the Undertaker or DX. I mean DX again. You're not gonna make me change my mind. I got bad flashbacks there because I was thinking about the Crown Jewel matchup. No, I'm gonna go with DX every time. I am not. What is the content? Pro wrestling. The question that we're asking is Shawn Michaels the greatest of all time? Every Thursday we have a live stream where we basically discuss the winning topic. So this past weekend, I believe it was Monday, we had a poll where you could vote what was going to be the topic at hand. And people chose Shawn Michaels. They want to talk about the life and the career of the Heartbreak Kid, and that's the content that we're doing today. But for this channel, it's pro wrestling. All about pro wrestling. Imagine DX and Evolution working together. That'd be interesting. Because Triple H is already a part of both. That'd be a big super team. IShowSpeed is the best. I was very skeptical about IShowSpeed participation at the Royal Rumble, but after seeing that spear by Braun Breaker, I'm totally with it. I'm totally with it. Dion, what's going on? What's going on, buddy? Thank you for joining the live stream. Shawn is hands down the GOAT. No doubt about it. Again, people want to throw in other names like a Bret Hart, like a Undertaker, Austin, people like that. I'm not even going to get mad. Those are great picks, but I think it has to be Shawn. Drew McIntyre was insanious. Drew McIntyre had a great 2024. And I mean, I'm hoping that 2025 is going to be even better for him. I'm hoping that we're going to see him get a little bit of wins. Didn't get a lot of wins in 2024, took a lot of L's. But for example, it looks like he's going to be facing Damian Priest at WrestleMania, and he needs to get that win. I like Priest, but Drew McIntyre needs that win a lot more than Damian for sure. I agree, Sammy. DX versus Rated RKO was iconic. I mean, a great feud. All four legends of the business. Two great heels versus great stars in general. Shawn and Triple H could do both. Was a real fan of that. Why did Roman Reigns change his personality in OTC from the Big Dog? Because the Big Dog wasn't connecting. I mean, it was so force-fed The fans were over it. We did not want to support that version of Roman Reigns because he was supposed to be this squeaky clean baby face and no one bought it. It was during a time period where we wanted to see other people, succeed. Guys like Daniel Bryan, guys like Dean Ambrose, even. AJ Styles was starting up there as well. And so, what was the main reason from changing it? Turn him heel. Turn him heel, give him a fresh coat of paint, allow the fans to actually boo Roman, and it did wonders for him. He became the OTC, the tribal chief, and has solidified himself as one of the greats. Certainly one of the best, if not the best, of this generation, given the quality of stories, the matches, and of course, a 4-year title reign. Turning him from the big dog to the tribal chief will go down as one of the best decisions that the WWE has done, at least this millennium, maybe of all time. Maybe of all time. Oh, let's see. What's the deal of Drew McIntyre storming off at the Rumble? There was reports saying that the way Damian Priest had thrown out Drew McIntyre was kind of placed in the background because Logan Paul and LA Knight were caught in the middle of hard cam. They were kind of taken away from that moment. So, again, reports, you and I weren't there, but that's what they're saying, is that he was very upset that it kind of took away shine from that moment. And in the end, that elimination felt inconsequential. It didn't feel as big as it should have. Do you think Test should have been a world champion? Underrated. I think he had the potential. The way they had booked him, I would say no. Had they booked him better, I could have definitely seen him win the world title on Monday Night Raw. Don't know about the WWE title. The world championship on Raw, though, certainly could have seen it. John with the classic answer. Wrestling is an act, man. It's all lies and fake fighting. Oh my God, this is awesome. For him to come to that realization, congrats to you, buddy. But luckily enough, there's other things like on TV, reality TV, any kind of show that you like watching. That's also fake. It's choreographed. It's written out like a storyline. So that's awesome, though. Happy for you, buddy. Michael, Benoit is still the GOAT. Benoit, one of the best in-ring competitors, but the man kind of has a bad rap. Vince lost the touch of what made WWE a lot of wrestlers got tired like CM Punk. Yeah. At that point, Vince was very much, I would like to say, in like his senile state, because he definitely was not booking anything good in those last years. So yeah, no, I agree with you there. Shield Roman was more energetic as well, a silent killer. Shield Roman was good. I think that's why we cheered him in the 2014 Royal Rumble. Batista was going to win and people weren't with it. They wanted it to be Roman Reigns, but because he was just a certified badass, he wasn't trying too hard. One of my biggest complaints ever was when they made him wear those contacts and they gave him the blue contacts, and it's like, why? That's just, it's so fabricated. You're just trying too hard. But now as the OTC, it seems like it's coming natural. It seems like it's really Roman. Like, he's not playing a character. So, Test versus Sheamus or Gunther. Hey, either one would be a great matchup. Test, for all, his faults, was still a great wrestler at that time. I would love to see him against Sheamus. Gunther, too, of course. Gunther's great. But him against Sheamus really captures my attention here. WWE blood real or fake? For the most time, it's real. I think I've only seen like a capsule used once or twice. It's real blood, guys. The only difference is it with a blade or is it the hard way? So for people to still be asking that question nowadays, that's only a testament to the business and how they're able to pull a wool over the fans. Do you believe Eddie versus Shawn would have been a match of the year candidate? Sammy asks, or Sammy says yes. San Fran asks the question. Absolutely. Eddie Guerrero was arguably one of the best of all time. Shawn Michaels, for me, is the best of all time and had 15 match of the years. So, and even then, there were more matches that could have been in contention, just they didn't happen to win. I definitely think it would have been match of the year. Had they given it the proper amount of time, the proper build, maybe not even the proper build, you could have had no build at all. Just give these guys enough time. No doubt in my mind that it could have been a match of the year. Dethroned by Eli says HBK versus The Rock not happening was a missed opportunity. Isn't that crazy that matchup never occurred? They were in the same company from 97 to 98, right? Because Shawn was on top. He had to retire. He would return in 2002, right around the time that The Rock was going Hollywood. Now, We maybe could have had the match in late '02 or maybe WrestleMania 19 as a possibility, or even in 2004 at WrestleMania 20, maybe. Missed opportunity. Couldn't agree more. What a match that would have been. The selling. The selling would have been fantastic. What do you think of Batista and Shawn Michaels' feud back in '08 after Ric Flair retired? Very brief, because it was in 2008, like you said, it was after Ric Flair retired. The Backlash matchup, obviously, they had, and it was a precursor to that Chris Jericho feud. If memory serves, Batista had fought Shawn Michaels at Backlash, took the L because Shawn Michaels was faking a knee injury. And then they had a matchup at One Night Stand in a stretcher match where Shawn Michaels would take the loss. I believe Batista had won that. So very brief, nothing of note. I really feel like it gets overlooked because it led directly in to that Chris Jericho feud. That Chris Jericho feud was one of the best feuds, I think, again, of the last 25 years. It certainly was the feud of the year in '08. So shout out to Muhammad there. Which Kane looked better, 99 or 2017? 99. 99. That initial run from 97 to like 2001, I think is the best Kane. Is the best Kane. For me, I actually enjoy 2003 to 2004. I kind of like that Kane as well. But that initial run from 97 to '01, the best Kane. I do not collect figures dethroned by Eli. I do not. I do have a Kevin Owens in the back somewhere. It's kind of covered though because of the balloons. But aside from that, I don't. I'm more of a movie guy. I have an extensive collection of the movies, the DVDs, I should say. And that's not just pro wrestling in general. In general. But with Shawn Michaels had, at the age of 12, said that he wanted to join pro wrestling. He wouldn't debut until October 8th, 1984. He would join the NWA's Mid-South wrestling territory, and he would lose his debut, but impressed a lot of people. He became enhancement talent. He was that guy that was going to put people over, make the stars look like stars, and do a great job of, putting them over, essentially. From there, he would be moved to WCCW, that's World Class Championship Wrestling, in January of 1985. Then in Kansas City, and this is where he would meet Marty Jannetty. Marty Jannetty, one half of the Rockers, or the Midnight Rockers, as they were known by that point. They debuted in the AWA on a national level, and Shawn was at the age of 20, so again, still relatively young. He continued teaming up with Marty Jannetty, and they would win the AWA Tag Team Champions. They would gain a level of notoriety and attention from the outside world of the professional wrestling. In the WWE, they would sign in 1987, but this would only last for a couple of weeks due to a bar fight. There was an incident, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty were, caught breaking glasses. If you look in his documentary, there was a moment there where he describes it as a misunderstanding, but they got let go and they wouldn't be back in the WWE for another year. In that gap period, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty would go back to the AWA, win the tag team titles once again, earn that level of respect, and then go right back to the WWE in 1988. They would be renamed the Rockers instead of the Midnight Rockers. Appreciate the hearts in the chat there. To look at these, let's see. Sweet Chin Music is one of a kind. It's the best. People talk about the super kick. Sweet Chin Music is something else. Bro, why Lesnar don't like people? He's very much an introvert. He strikes me as an introvert. He doesn't like people, doesn't like dealing with people. I don't blame him. Do you think Logan Paul has a legitimate chance to become a world champion one day? D says nah. I think we want to say no, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think he does have a shot. I think he does. Maybe from like a Money in the Bank cash in, but if he's serious about continuing wrestling, I think there is a shot he could win the world title. The WWE title, I don't think so. I think the world title is more likely, but that's not saying it would happen. I just think he does have a shot. Shawn Michaels or Triple H, who runs NXT better? I love Shawn, but I like Triple H's NXT better. That style of NXT was very much my thing. Finn Balor, Adam Cole, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke, Sami Zayn, the Four Horsewomen. I'm going to go Triple H on that one. Thank you for the question, Muhammad. Undertaker will come back or not? Yeah, he'll come back, but like as an appearance, not for like a match. Taker's done. I don't even think he should come back for a match. He has no reason to do so. The legacy is solidified. He's up there in GOAT status. We just talked about it. He's one of the greatest of all time. For some people, he is the GOAT. He's done in the ring, or at least I hope he is. At least I hope he is. So the Rockers make their return in 1988 as a part of the tag team division, which is stacked. I mean, top to bottom, there was a lot of talent in the WWF during the golden era. So they were used as that plucky babyface team that would, say hello to the babies and say hi to the women and the families and, put over a lot of talent. It wouldn't be a couple of years for them to get in the tag team title scene. It was in 1990. To be exact, it was October 30th, 1990. They fought against Jim Neidhart and Bret Hart, the Hart Foundation, again, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. They would get the victory. They would defeat Jim Neidhart and Bret Hart and win the tag team titles on account that Jim Neidhart, his contract was going out. He was on his way out of the company. So the WWE wasn't sure if they were going to re-sign him. So they gave the titles to them. But then Jim Neidhart actually re-signs. So because this show was taped, they just don't count it. They don't even recognize it as a title reign. And they blame it on the turnbuckles breaking down during the matchup. During this matchup, the turnbuckle, I believe it was the middle turnbuckle. If not, it was the top. One of those. Breaks. And this whole matchup, they have to go with only 2 ropes. And they blame it on that. Shawn and Marty, they win the tag titles, but it's nullified. Never happened. Never happened. That was their only opportunity to win the championship, and it's not recognized to this point. What about Triple H? No, Triple H has a heart condition. He's not coming back either. He shouldn't come back. And that's just because, we fear for his safety. We're concerned. We don't want to see his heart condition blow up. The Rock, why too much fan following? The what do you mean? Like, why are fans, why are they fans of The Rock? What do you mean, why too much fan following? Did Shawn screw Bret or was it a work? He screwed him. For people to say, the Montreal screwed up is a work, that's a topic that we could dedicate a whole live stream to. But to answer your question, Sammy, no, he was in on it. He was in on it. He screwed him. Dethroned by Eli, I have a fun question. What wrestlers are marks for themselves? I'll give you a couple examples. Bully Ray and Shane Helms. Bully Ray's a good one. That's funny. I think Hogan, for sure, he's a mark for himself. He puts himself over any opportunity that he has. I think that's a great one. Some people say Bret Hart. And when I say that, this is coming from people in the business, obviously not me, because he takes it too serious. That he shouldn't lose to this person, or he shouldn't lose the title in this area. Case in point, the Montreal Screwjob. He didn't want to lose the title in Montreal. So some people have made the argument that Bret Hart is a mark for himself. So, hey, watching you from India, appreciate that. Your accent's pretty dope. I didn't think I had one, but thank you. Can you show footage of some HBK matches? I would, but I would get copyrighted. If I do show clips, it'd have to be like 5 seconds. Because YouTube is very tight on their regulations, and I've gotten, I got not striked, but I've gotten these notifications where it's like, hey, you can't be monetizing videos like this. I have to edit them out. So unfortunately, I can't show matches. If it's a clip, it's like 5 seconds. I can't show more than that. Or I think 10 seconds is the rule. Shawn uses his legs and high jumps almost time. Good flexibility and agility. That's my style of wrestling. I like to see the agile stars. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate guys like Goldberg. Guys like, the bigger wrestlers. The Undertaker, again, was a big man that can go for sure. But Shawn, Bret, AJ, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, that's my cup of tea. Those are the ones I'm a fan of. Eddie Guerrero. I think Nick Dinsmore, is a mark for himself. If you're familiar, yeah, of course. I don't watch his channel. Obviously, we know him as Eugene. So that's an interesting one. I have not watched his content. He's a mark for himself. How so? Is he putting over the Eugene character more than he should? Because, a lot of people said, his time in OVW, that Nick was a solid wrestler. It's just we all know him for the Eugene character, so it gets overlooked. I can't speak to it. I wasn't a Nick Dinsmore fan. I didn't watch his stuff in OVW. I only know him as Eugene, so That's on me. But no, I'm not familiar with it. I know he makes content, but I don't watch it. There's a lot of content out there. There's a lot of content out there. Speaking of content, Shawn Michaels following the Rockers. There was a time here. Hold on. Yes, it's all he had. He makes it sound like he was right with Okay, that's crazy. That he was right there with Vincent Hunter. That's wild. That's actually crazy. Um. Oh, I just skipped over. Logan's a beginner, but his brother is OP. I still think, man, that Logan has a shot. If he's serious about wrestling, he might mess around and win the world title. Gary just passed a kidney stone today. It was large as hell. That's the news. I'm pretty sure it made it stretch. That's wow. Remember to drink your water, folks. That's Gary's contributions to the live stream. Kevin, what's going on, buddy? Sean's, of course, the GOAT. Damn believe it. Damn right. Before he was saved by the Lord. Okay, he still is. You know, Sean has two halves of his career. Morgan says, just describe. Morgan, awesome. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Take a couple of puffs. You'll feel better, Gary. There you go. Dethroned by Eli with the knowledge. Appreciate that, buddy. Appreciate that, Morgan, for the sub. But Kevin agrees. He's the greatest of all time. He had one of the best heel turns, too. The Rockers, although they weren't able to hold on to the tag team titles for a legitimate reign, it was in January 11th of 1992, that probably the most famous edition of the Barbershop took place. Shawn Michaels betrays Marty Jannetty, super kicks him, and throws him directly into the Barbershop window. One of the best heel turns, and it would begin this narrative of the Marty versus Shawn debate. Every tag team since then, there's always been one Marty and one Shawn. Now, for those who are not familiar with that saying, is you have a pairing of a tag team. It always happens. One guy will become a superstar, a main eventer, a legend, a world champion, Shawn Michaels. And the other won't really amount to a lot. He might have a little bit of trouble sustaining employment in pro wrestling. Might not even be that great of a star. Unfortunately, in this case, Marty Jannetty. That's the example. Gary says, thanks for the support, Eli. I think of you while I puff. Well, there you go. How nice. I just wish he had a better outfit in that chamber match. I think it occurred in 02. You're 100% right. Madison Square Garden, Survivor Series 2002. Shawn Michaels wins the inaugural Elimination Chamber matchup. He has these poo-poo brown pants that only have an H on them because he didn't have enough time to get them finished. It was supposed to say HBK. It says H. Not a good look in his gear. And I mean, I'm not one to talk about hair. You guys already know. But that bob haircut, I wasn't a fan of that either. But I'm not one to talk, of course. Cringe says, why Liv Morgan uses Dominic for Rhea Ripley as a victim? That relationship between Liv and Dominic, I don't think it's meant to last long. I do like the storyline, though, because it advances the character of everyone involved. Now Rhea is isolated. She's by herself, no friends, no family, really. Liv Morgan, I think, had a great 2024, and Dominic, I think, is destined to win a world championship. Bob haircut, brown tights, and cowboy boots. Eli remembers. It wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look. But when we talk about looks, Shawn Michaels in 1992 revamped everything. Had the leather, had the nice sunglasses, had sensational Sherry right on his arm, became the Heartbreak Kid, became one of the best heels of the New Generation era, and helped ascend him to the main event scene. He would become a top star. He would defeat Tito Santana at WrestleMania 8. He then would chase the championship gold, the Intercontinental title, the WWE title. He was focused on that singles gold, and he had solid outings. Obviously, we know he defeated the British Bulldog at Saturday Night's Main Event in November of 1992, winning the Intercontinental Championship and going on to have multiple reigns. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he won it 3 or 4 times as the Intercontinental Champion. In 93, though, a returning Marty Jannetty, and he would feud over the Intercontinental title where Jannetty would win, and then Shawn would win it right back. But it was most notable for the introduction of Diesel, Kevin Nash, one member of the Clique. The Clique, as we know, by the way, In the chat, who are some of your favorite Click members? If you had to pick one, we know it's Shawn, Razor, Triple H, X Pac, and of course, Big Daddy Cool, Diesel. Who's your favorite member of the Click in the chat? Let me know down below. Finn Balor, which version looks brutal? Demon or normal? I'd be Demon. I miss the Demon. But I feel like they're going to break that out for special occasions. But for sure. I'm curious to know if Triple H reached out to Motorhead for his entrances. I would have to think so. I've seen like in documentaries and in interviews, Shawn Michaels, or excuse me, Triple H became friends with Lemmy, the singer of Motorhead. But regardless, every time they performed, whether it was at WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 21, loved it. Love it. Motorhead, one of the best bands to ever perform in the WWE. Thank you for that, Kevin. Muhammad and dethroned by Eli Bosley HBK. I mean, it's the right answer. But again, I don't feel like there is a wrong answer. Well, no, there is a wrong answer. Anybody that says Diesel, I have to question you. Razor's cool. Pac is cool. And then Triple H and Shawn Michaels are goats. Anybody that says Diesel, I'm going to have to question you there, buddy. Muhammad says Chris Jericho too was friends with Lemmy. I understand. I mean, probably. I mean, Chris Jericho has his ties with the music industry, so that makes sense to me. Is Triple H slept on? Man, I feel so late because I was born in 03 and only got to see 08 versus 09 version. So when it comes to Triple H, I don't think you really missed much. That run in 02 to like 05, people refer to that as the reign of terror. Triple H was the world champion and was beating everybody, especially if you were from WCW. We're talking guys like Booker T, Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash, Goldberg. Like, he was beating everybody. But the Evolution stuff was great. It wasn't until like 2004, late 04, that it picked up. So I wouldn't say you missed a lot during that era. Do you think they should have just let Mark Jindrak join anyway? With 5 of them would have been interesting, because you could have had like Triple H as the main, Ric Flair as the manager / the J.J. Dillon of the group. Maybe Randy as the Intercontinental, and then have Batista and Jindrak as a tag team. They could have made it work. I think they could have made it work. Gary says Benoit's the GOAT. Brock Lesnar's one of my favorite. WWE loved him for a script realistic look, and most paid for his techniques, skills. A lot of commas in there. Yeah, Brock. I appreciated Brock's run, but towards the end, it got to the point where I'm like, I've seen already everything I want to see. The only match that we haven't gotten that I want to see is Brock versus Gunther. Brock versus Gunther. Anything else? I'll take that back. We did talk about Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker versus Brock Lesnar would be cool. So if Lesnar comes back solely for Breaker and Gunther, then I'm set. I need nothing else. Has Randy ever had a match with Lesnar? Yeah, SummerSlam 2016. SummerSlam 2016, I believe. Or, yeah, which was in like Toronto. It was in Toronto, I believe. And that one's notable for having the moment where Brock Lesnar's delivering like these elbows to Randy, and he begins to bleed hard away. But yeah, it's happened. Johnny's back in the chat. What I like the Road Warriors? What I like about the Road Warriors is the entrance, the face paint, the spiked padding. These guys were brute forces, man. Strong as hell, and definitely over. Loved it. I think if you're looking at it on paper, it's Cena or Brock, but my heart says Austin. Austin's awesome. Not a bad pick. Jeff Hardy versus Punk. I agree, that'd be a great one. Muhammad says Brooklyn, New York. Oh, so it must have been 2015 then. It must have been in 2015 that the match took place. Do you know Andre the Giant? Not personally, but I mean the 8th wonder of the world. Probably the best giant of all time. 2016? Yeah, you're probably okay. Because I think Randy. Yeah, because Brock fought Taker in 2015, and Brock fought Randy in 16. So then the Toronto one must have been like 2019. That might be where my head's at. Marty McFly, Back to the Future. You're going to see the Blood Moon tonight. Didn't even know there was one coming out. I don't keep up to date with the moon stuff. I really should, though. What do I like about the Salmon in WWE? Honestly, nothing. Salmon was way better in ECW. His WWE run is forgettable. Plus, you never got to hear the Enter the Sandman entrance, unless if you count One Night Stand. I I can't say I was a fan of it. Way better in ECW. His WWE run though, could do without. Great Khali or Taker in his prime. Taker, easy. Jericho and Lesnar were going at it backstage, yeah, in 2016, following the Randy match. So we talked about the Click. This was when Diesel was getting big. In September of 93, though, Shawn Michaels, was a little bit problematic in the 90s. I'm sure you pro wrestling fans were already familiar with that. We looked at Shawn Michaels in 93, and apparently there was allegations that he had tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs, for steroids, something that he has always denied. Doesn't believe that he took any. Maybe it was in some kind of meat or food that he ate. We don't know, but he maintains the innocence. In 93, he had to relinquish the Intercontinental title in kayfabe in part of the story. It was because he wasn't defending it. There was like a 30-day clause. You had to defend the title. If you don't, we're stripping you of the title. But in real life, they took it away from him, even though he didn't want to give it up. But he's gone from TV, and Razor Ramon wins the IC title. And you already know what this is setting up. WrestleMania 10, the ladder match. One of the best ladder matches, a 5-star matchup if there ever was one. Undisputed champion for the Intercontinental title. Razor goes over. Did you think it was screwed up that Christian lost the same week he won his first world championship? Yes, absolutely. I remember being kind of annoyed. I felt like it was disrespectful to his career. I hated it because Christian, I was such a fan of Christian, and I felt like he never got his recognition. Obviously being a tag team partner of Edge, never got his due. So when he finally wins that world championship, and it's a great moment. I mean, we've been waiting years to see him as a world champion in the WWE. And for them to drop that title the next SmackDown, I was like, really? Really? I mean, in terms of narrative and story, it was fine because we got to see the heel turn and his battles with Randy were great. But yeah, in that moment, I was so mad. I was pissed. Bro, does Boogeyman really eat insects according to the script? Are they real? I feel like they were real, were they? I don't know. There were times where they would have him pull out the worms, and the ones he didn't eat were moving in the ring. So I would think they're real worms. What do you like about Bam Bam and the Boogeyman? Boogeyman's look, he was very spooky. I'm into the spooky and supernatural stuff in wrestling, so his look for sure. Bam Bam, the gear, the flame, the tattoos, the flamed gear, the purple, red, and yellow. I thought that was awesome. That was cool. The tattoo, the skull tattoo was cool, and obviously his battles with Taz and ECW are memories that will forever be enriched in my mind. What's a ladder match? Climb a ladder, retrieve whatever's hanging, and you win the match. They let Randy win instead. Yeah, we talked about that. Alexa Bliss retired or not? Not. Recently fought in the Elimination Chamber a couple weeks ago. We'll see what she has store for WrestleMania. I'm thinking it's something related with the Wyatt Six. WWE only put the title on Christian, so both will have one final time together due to Edge being retired and everything. But they did give it back to him. He had another run in 2011. What do you like about Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio in her car? Everyone knows I'm big fans. I'm a big fan of Eddie and Rey. Two of the greatest luchadors of all time. We talk about them extensively on the channel. Their 2005 rivalries, my favorite rivalry of the year. But love it. I'm a fan. I'm only 12. I can't figure out if wrestling is real or not. Please tell me. Keep watching, buddy. Keep watching. And you decide for yourself. Because, there's a little bit of realism in everything. So, I'm not the one to tell you. They screwed up bad with the Wyatts. Hopefully they have a plan. Would be a shame if they get released. I don't think they're going to get released. At least, not yet. But yeah. We need to see something. We haven't seen them for a minute. I'm not sure. I think I might have read somewhere. Maybe someone will correct me, like Muhammad in the chat. I think I read somewhere that Uncle Howdy, Taylor Rotunda was injured or something like that. And that explains their absence. Seth Rollins, why did he become the freaking? I never liked the freaking gimmick. I've always just called him Rollins or Seth. I never call him Seth freaking Rollins. But apparently they took away the name on WWE.com, so it's no longer Seth freaking Rollins or Big Bronson Reed or Dirty Dominic. They're getting rid of the labels, and I think that's fine. Bo is world champion material. I don't know. I don't know about that. I like Bo. But I don't know if they give him the world title. That type of a gimmick doesn't need it. The Uncle Howdy gimmick doesn't need it. Now, if they were to keep him as Bo Dallas, and like how Mick Foley had multiple personalities, Bo Dallas maybe could win it, but the Uncle Howdy one, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Triple H was opposed to the idea. I hope so. I don't like the labels. I mean, you can call them that. That's fine. Have them as like their monikers or their nicknames. But it's like that's not their legal name. No one called Bret the Hitman Hart all the time. He was Bret Hart. He just happened to be the Hitman. I can't wait for Raw. I agree with you, Sammy. What do you like about Penta in the WWE? It's a fresh take on Penta. I mean, we've known him in Impact and in AEW. His presentation has been phenomenal. Promos have gotten better. Matches are stellar. Big fan of Penta. Can't wait for Phoenix to show up. Damn, I'm finally wrong, LOL. I mean, I wouldn't say wrong. Hey, that's your take. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe there's people I like that you're not a fan of, so nothing wrong with that. Strowman versus Triple H, match in demand. I'm gonna disagree. I don't need it, especially because of Triple H's condition. I don't want to see it. But that's just me. If that's something you want to see, hey, go off. Not for me. Not for me. I like Maven's videos recently. Yeah, Maven has a great channel with great content. It's a unique perspective as well. We've talked about it on these live streams as well. Undertaker can't podcast, LMAO. I feel like that's why he has his name Martin. No, I don't remember the guy's name. His co-host. That's why he has him to help direct it. Taker's just there to provide those stories. Taker has like 40 years of stories to share, so I'm all about it. I enjoy his show, especially when he's talking about BSK, Godfather, Paul Bearer, Rikishi, like all the members of the BSK. I enjoy it. Oh, is Buff out of jail now? Is he? I haven't heard about Bagwell in a minute, so I don't know. Plus, I was never a Buff Bagwell guy. No disrespect to him. Why Sting don't do too many matches in Raw? When Sting was with the WWE, it was for a special attraction. If you use them too much, they're no longer a special attraction. That's why Brock never did a lot of matches on Raw. You had to pay to see that, right? He had a couple of one-offs, like tag team matches. I think that was the right call. He should have been used for special matches. Did you or have you catched Stephanie McMahon's new show? Is it already out? The Stephanie's, yeah, I know of it. Is it already out? I didn't think it started yet. I don't know. I thought it was like next week or the week after or something, like at the end of March. I thought it is out. No, well, then I haven't seen it. I thought it was not for another couple weeks. And I don't know. I'm probably gonna catch certain episodes. Like I know she has one with Punk, the Bloodline, Roman. Yeah, I knew CM Punk was the first one, but again, I didn't know it was already out. But yeah, no, for sure, I'll check it out. If it's Punk, I'm in. I'm a big Punk guy. So if he's in there, you better believe it. I'll check it out. John Cena will be there as well. Yeah, I did see that John will be there. Do you think Mr. Beast is... No, don't even entertain it. Don't even entertain it. Because I don't want to see too many of these celebrities there. No. If he's there for like in the crowd, that's one thing, but I don't want to see him in a ring. No thanks. No thank you. But yeah, no, I'm good there. The Samoan Werewolf is getting popular. He's going to be a world champion. Jacob Fatu is great. I think he's going to win the U.S. title, but No, he's gonna be a world champion. He's gonna fight Solo pretty soon, I think, whether that's at WrestleMania or not. But Jacob he's a star, man. Who was before Samantha Irwin? Oh, Samantha Irvin? Who was before Samantha Irvin? I don't remember. They've had so many, you know, announcers come and go. Do you believe it was Shawn and Hunter had a show like Edge and Christian would have been successful? Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Even if it was, during their prime or later in their careers, yeah. The chemistry between those two are off the charts. The story that they could tell, the the humor, yeah, definitely. I think Edge and Christian are more suited for it. I think that was the right call. But I think a Shawn and Triple H one definitely would have succeeded as well. Have you seen the merch for Jacob? My God, I gotta get some. It's good merch. They've been on fire with him, man. Sammy, what's up with Punk hugging Paul? They have history. They go way back to the mid 2000s. We're talking OVW, ECW. Like, they go back. He was one of the first Paul Heyman guys. I mean, yeah, Paul Heyman has had other people like Brock Lesnar, but CM Punk is the one that came up with the phrase Paul Heyman guy. That's his mentor, and even becoming one of his best friends. There's history there. A little bit of jealousy by Roman Reigns, I believe. That's gonna be interesting for WrestleMania. Triple threat match incoming. From which wrestler did you start watching WWE? The Rock. I started watching in like 2000 when I was a very small kid. And the one that I connected with the most was The Rock. I mean, the charisma, the speaking ability, the confidence, the personality, larger than life character, the maneuvers. I mean, all around a star. The Rock is the one that got me into WWE. He would leave, go to Hollywood, and then Shawn Michaels really became my favorite of all time. But it would be The Rock. He was one that got me into it. I'm curious from you guys. What about you guys in the chat? Who were some of the wrestlers, if not who was the wrestler that got you into WWE? Vietnam number one. Punk and Kofi and Danhausen and Brody King and Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, AJ Lee. Is that who got you into is that who got you into wrestling, Muhammad? Bret Hart, great answer. Yeah. The excellence of execution. The Hitman. That's a great answer. No. So then, because you named a bunch of people. Like everyone that's related to Punk as friends / family for AJ Lee. Because we know Punk has history with all of them. He's close friends with Kofi, Danhausen, Brody. Roxanne Perez and Cora are kind of like his unofficial kids. Undertaker's a great answer. Undertaker's a great answer. Why Final Boss hates hates Cody too much? Because he wouldn't align himself with The Rock. He told The Rock, no. He told The Rock, go F yourself. And that's, The Rock's not going to take that. But I do want to see them fight in a match one day. That'd be nice. Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's a great answer, too. That's solid. Hulk Hogan, too, but he never wrestled on TV. Yeah, because, again, when you're like a special attraction like that, you're going to wrestle for the big shows, for the pay-per-views. Yeah. Eddie, come on. Yeah. One of the best of all time. Unless if it was for like Saturday night's main event. Yeah, those big events that you want to attract viewers. It makes sense. It's good business. It might suck if you're a fan of them because you don't get to see them wrestle as much, but it's smart business. I mean, you're going to pop a rating. You're going to pop attendance if you really save those appearances from the main stars. Speaking of the main stars, too, with Shawn Michaels, we talked about WrestleMania 10, one of the best ladder matches, one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. From then on, he would tag team with Diesel. They would win the tag titles, and they would continue to tease splits, and this would lead to their eventual breakup, and then Shawn would win the Royal Rumble. They would challenge at WrestleMania 11 for the WWE title. Shawn was unsuccessful and would later turn into a baby face and would start calling his fans the Click as a reference to the real-life Click, and behind the scenes, they were getting a little bit of heat with the boys because they kind of carried a level of influence with Vince. People were getting kind of jealous. There was tension because they thought they were getting too close to Vince and dictating the future of all these wrestlers. One of these moments too was October of '95. Shawn Michaels had to drop the Intercontinental title because, as we mentioned earlier in the stream, he was attacked by several men that I believe were they were Marines, I believe. It was a bar assault, and he would have to drop the title, and this would carry on when he would return a little too early, and Owen Hart would deliver an enziguri, which is a kick to the back of the head, essentially, and they would play off this concussion angle, so Shawn would miss another few months before finally returning at the Royal Rumble '96, winning. That's back-to-back Royal Rumble wins for Shawn Michaels, and would go on to defeat Bret Hart at WrestleMania 12 in the Iron Man match. New NXT Women's Champion has a constant wedge. I think that's just her gear. That must be so uncomfortable. Unless you're used to it, yeah, I feel like that might just be her gear. Stephanie Vaquer, who is a double champion, NXT Women's Champion, and the North American Champion as well. Congrats to her. We love Stephanie. Edge versus Taker on SmackDown, build up to One Night Stand was mine. That's awesome. That again, another solid feud. Edge versus Taker had like a year-long feud. Awesome. Love it. Thank you, Sammy. Cringe says maybe Cody makes revenge strategy against Rock and Cena. Yeah. It's all about who he's going to get. Is he going to get Randy? Maybe Austin? I think those are two possibilities to even up the odds. What's the deal with Shawn Michaels working as a chef? He super kicked that little girl. Yeah, that was in 2009 after Shawn Michaels had lost to The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. He took a break, took a hiatus. Triple H had to convince him to come back to the WWE and join up as Degeneration X one more time. And he had to catch Shawn Michaels. He was working as a chef, which ironically enough, he's cooking it up now in NXT. But he was a chef. This girl was getting on his nerves, kept questioning him, basically verbally assaulting him. He had enough, and he super kicked the little girl. So that was quite the moment back in 2009. We talked about Bret Hart in 1996, and Triple H and Shawn Michaels would be a participant in one of the most infamous moments in pro wrestling history. Of course, I'm referring to the curtain call. It was the last night that Diesel and Razor Ramon were going to be with the WWE, so Shawn and Triple H wanted to have one last goodbye with their good friends. They spoke to Vince and they said, what if at the end of the matchup, we just celebrate? And Vince allowed it. So Diesel and Razor, Triple H and Shawn all come together. They embrace as they're saying goodbye to their friends. The only issue is Shawn and Razor were baby faces and Triple H and Diesel were heels, and they're breaking kayfabe. They're breaking the illusion of pro wrestling. And they couldn't punish Triple H, or excuse me, they couldn't punish Razor Ramon and Diesel because they were on their way out. Shawn's the world champion, so it was left with Triple H. Triple H was the one that got, punished, lost his opportunity to win the King of the Ring, which he was scheduled to win. He would have to wait a year to win the King of the Ring tournament. Shawn Michaels held the WWE title all the way from WrestleMania 12 to Survivor Series, where he would drop it to Psycho Sid. He would regain at the Royal Rumble in '97, but he would then drop the title again because of an injury, a knee injury. But it was infamous for the line of "I lost my smile." And that is a whole different topic. That, again, could be its own live stream when it comes to Bret Hart. Their real-life animosity bled onto the screen. Shawn Michaels didn't want to lose the title to Bret Hart. It was scheduled for WrestleMania 13, Shawn versus Bret in a rematch from the previous WrestleMania. But because Shawn vacates the title, it's now up in the air. We don't get that matchup. Instead, we get Bret versus Stone Cold in the submission match, one of the best matches of all time. Taker wins the WWE title from Psycho Sid at WrestleMania 13, and we don't see Shawn return until later in the year. And by then, there's already heat between Bret and Shawn. There's been backstage fights, clumps of hair have been pulled out. Shawn calls it an unsafe working environment. There's obviously the sunny days comment where Shawn Michaels accuses Bret Hart of having an affair with Sunny while Bret Hart is married, no less. So now he has to report back to his home, to his wife and kids, and they're like, what was that about? Bret Hart maintains his innocence, though. I'm done. Poot is Muhammad, Shawn Michaels versus Little Girl, WrestleMania 42. No contest. No contest. SmackDown was always my brand. Sammy, I knew there was a reason why we clicked because SmackDown was our brand too. Big fan of SmackDown growing up. We watched it all the way since 2000. Like I said, we didn't have access to Raw until like 2005 ish. So SmackDown's our brand for sure. Do you think there will be a Shawn Michaels collab with Triple H in their last days? What do you mean? Because I mean, Shawn's running NXT, Triple H is running the WWE. They're kind of already collaborating there. If we're talking about a match, no, absolutely not. They're both done. They're not wrestling. Ryan says Blue Chew. We're not sponsored, buddy. We're not sponsored. But if we were, you already know I'd be giving you the whole Blue Chew spiel. Undertaker versus Lesnar. They had good matches. I love their Hell in a Cell matches in 2002 and 2015. They had good matches together. A good combination. Speaking of The Undertaker, in 1997, there was a SummerSlam event where Shawn Michaels was a special guest referee for Bret Hart versus Taker. Like I said, Taker was the world champion at that time, and he would lose the title to Bret Hart due to Shawn Michaels' interference, essentially. He was the special guest referee. Bret Hart gets in the face of Shawn Michaels, spits in the face of Shawn Michaels. Shawn obviously doesn't like Bret, grabs a chair, swings it in his direction, and Bret ducks. Taker gets the shot to the face, and Shawn has to reluctantly count the pin and raise Bret Hart's hand as the WWE champion. This would open the door for Taker versus Shawn. They had a match at Ground Zero, but the matchup that everyone remembers is Hell in a Cell. In Your House, Bad Blood, October 5th, 1997, the first ever Hell in a Cell matchup. 5 stars, my favorite Hell in a Cell match of all time. Shawn would win on account of the debut of Kane, but it wouldn't be the last time that they fought. They would fight again at Royal Rumble 98, but we'll get to that in a second because after Hell in a Cell's Montreal, Survivor Series 97, if you're a diehard fan like I am, you already know extensively about the history of Montreal. Bret Hart's the WWE champion, Shawn Michaels is the challenger, Montreal, the home country of Bret the Hitman Hart, and what would be his final matchup because he's on his way out to WCW. Doesn't want to do the job. Too bad. Vince makes up his mind for him. And Shawn puts Bret Hart in his own finish, the sharpshooter. And Bret does not submit, but Vince orders the bell to be rung. They screw Bret Hart out of the title. They say goodbye to Bret Hart for decades. That's, again, for a more in-depth conversation about Montreal, that's very much a conversation I would love to have on another Thursday. Might throw that up on a poll though, but that's a big story, long story. Shawn Michaels again, like I said, would fight at the Royal Rumble against The Undertaker. It was in a casket match, a faithful casket match because Shawn Michaels would receive a backdrop onto the casket, and his lower back would clip the casket itself, and essentially he would receive a back injury, 2 herniated discs that would force him into retirement. From 98 to 2002, Shawn was retired, but not before he would drop the title at WrestleMania 14 to Stone Cold Steve Austin, ushering in the Austin era, and essentially the Attitude Era. Fun fact, when Shawn was a chef, they shot the segment at Titan Tower's lunchroom. That is accurate. San Fran 5, 100% is correct. They did shoot that scene at the Titan Tower's lunchroom. Good call there by San Fran 5. During his retirement, Shawn would appear sporadically as the commissioner. He actually had a wrestling school where notable names like Bryan Danielson, Brian Kendrick, and Paul London, and Lance Cade were all students of his during that time period. But it was also during a time period where he had substance abuse issues. He had to go into rehab. He became a born-again Christian. He was battling his own demons, and thankfully enough, he became clean in 2002, just in time for his return to the ring, which we'll get to in a second here. Dethroned by Eli. Great comment. Owen Hart versus Bryan Danielson would have been a magic beyond belief. 5 stars by Meltzer guaranteed. Give those guys an hour. I mean, you can give those guys 20 minutes, it'll be fire. But Owen versus Bryan, sign me up. Sign me up. Great call by Dethroned by Eli. Awesome. Who would go over? Who would you have go over? Me? I love Brian. I would love to put him over. But we know him universally as one of the best wrestlers of all time. What if Owen just outsmarts him as a heel? Regardless, I'd love to see it. I have not. So Shawn makes his return in June. Joins the NWO, but they quickly disband. Because why would they have Shawn in the NWO? Reforms DX for one night only with Triple H because Triple H betrays him, and they begin their long feud of 2002 to 2004. Shawn Michaels and Triple H would have matches at SummerSlam. They would have matches at the Survivor Series, the Elimination Chamber, and of course Armageddon and the Three Stages of Hell. Trading back and forth the world title. It would be the last world title that Shawn Michaels would win. And then from there, I mean, not much of note for Shawn Michaels. No, I'm just kidding. Every year, this guy would have a match of the year. Listen to this. WrestleMania 19, Chris Jericho, match of the year. WrestleMania 20, triple threat match. Shawn, Triple H, and Benoit, match of the year. WrestleMania 21, Kurt Angle, match of the year. It's one of the best matches of all time. He has a solid feud with Hulk Hogan. I only say solid because he really puts over the fact that Hogan's a bad guy. But they have their feud no less. In 2006, he has a match with Vince, has the DX reunion. And in 2007 is probably one of my favorite runs because Triple H and Shawn are teaming up at New Year's Revolution in 2007. They're facing off against the Rated RKO, Edge and Randy Orton. Triple H suffers a torn quad that would sideline him for about 7 to 8 months. So Shawn is now alone. He earns, well, hold on. Shawn's alone. The original plan was Triple H and John Cena to be at WrestleMania 23, a rematch of WrestleMania 22. But because of Triple H's injury, that opens the door for Shawn Michaels. He competes at the Royal Rumble, where he's the final two with the eventual winner, The Undertaker. Keep in mind, this is an interesting plot point. 2007, The Undertaker eliminates Shawn Michaels to win the Rumble. WrestleMania 23, he loses to John in a great match. They have a great London match, near hour. The Fatal 4-Way at Backlash was fire. Shawn would then go on to feud with Randy Orton over the WWE title in the fall. And then by the time we get back to the Royal Rumble in 2008, he and The Undertaker start the match. Shawn dumps out The Undertaker. That's 2008. From there, 2008, Muhammad mentions it. Muhammad says injuries wouldn't come at worst possible time. It's crazy how the world works, right? Muhammad mentioned it in 2008, the Batista feud that would parlay into the Jericho feud. The Jericho feud, man, had matches at Judgment Day, the Great American Bash, the Bloodfest at the Great American Bash. At SummerSlam, he punches Shawn's wife, he being Chris Jericho. Then at Unforgiven, they have an unsanctioned match. And then at No Mercy, they have a ladder match. Banger after banger after banger. 2008's feud of the year. Jericho versus Shawn. Hands down. Sammy says, cold weather gave me a cold. I'm here laying down watching you. Hopefully you're able to kick out of this cold pretty soon. If you're anything like me, hopefully the immune system's good and get over that cold. I appreciate you stopping by and watching the live though, Sammy. Thank you so much. Hoping for a quick recovery though with that cold. Over here with us too, it's been raining all day. So we'll see. Your timelines are on point. I'm impressed. I've never seen your channel. Well, I appreciate that. When it comes to this, I lived it. Shawn's my favorite wrestler of all time. So I do keep my notes just in case. But the Shawn memory, it's there. It's there. I'll subscribe. I appreciate that. Please do. We do these lives 3 times out of the week. Pro wrestling content on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Occasionally the weekend as well. But please do. I appreciate that so much. Jay and Beyonce, not quite. Not quite. But yeah, they had that great feud in 2008. And we're winding down when it comes to Shawn's career. But then he delivers two bangers. We won't get to those yet, but just wait. In 2009, he is having this thing with JBL. JBL apparently loaned money to Shawn Michaels. Again, this is, Nolan says Jay and Tony Storm. That's more like it. That's more like it. Gab says Jose's the best at storytelling. I appreciate that, Gabs. Thank you so much. I really feel like I'm kind of like speeding through this one, though, because Shawn has like 40 years worth of history. And I don't want to be stuck at like, talking your guys' ear off when it comes to that. That's why I go back and forth with the chat and then here. JBL. John Bradshaw. I know York's favorite son. Yeah, shout out to JBL. I hated JBL as a kid. But he was good at his job. When I grew up as an adult, I was like, you know what? He's really good because he was able to get me to genuinely hate him. There are heels like Edge and Triple H. I'm like, oh, those guys are cool. CM Punk is a heel. That guy's cool. JBL was one of the few heels where I'm like, I don't like this dude. Super good at his job, man. The Miz is another one. Yes, Muhammad, The Miz is another one. Thoughts on Bray Wyatt's death? Sad. It was a sad time. Bray Wyatt, so young, so much potential, so much promise, a creative mind, and it really implemented a lot of creativity in his character, whether it was the Swamp Bray Wyatt, whether it was the Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, the Firefly Funhouse, and then the last run as Bray Wyatt, which it seemed really true to himself. And then on top of that, it's sad. Because it's crazy to think what would have been if Bray would still be here. Love Mercedes Moné. The hair is cool. Mercedes is great. Big fan of Mercedes as well. And she went back to her like purple kind of hair. Chris Jericho, Big Show aging. Yeah, they are. And Jericho's the Ring of Honor champion, so I'm like, what are we doing there? Jericho. The good caller with Jericho. So JBL, apparently a part of the show, lends money to Shawn Michaels. Basically owns Shawn Michaels at this point. It was a weird storyline. Now looking back at it, I was like, it was like a placeholder to get Shawn to his next one. Shawn beats JBL at No Way Out 2009. I don't even know why I brought this point up. It's not really that consequential to the story. We get past JBL, and Shawn sets his eyes on The Undertaker. We talked about Royal Rumble 2007. We talked about Royal Rumble 08. Bit by bit, this is a long-term story. Whether it was intentional or not, Shawn challenges The Undertaker for his streak at WrestleMania. And again, like we talked about at the top of the live stream, what an entrance by Shawn Michaels, demonstrating that light versus darkness. Light versus darkness. Shawn Michaels personifying the light and The Undertaker personifying the darkness, delivering what might be considered the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. Maybe the greatest match of all time, depending on who you ask. But these guys go 20 plus minutes. Solid spots. I mean, memorable moments like when Undertaker takes the dive to go over the ring ropes to hit Shawn Michaels, and the cameraman, funny enough, Jimmy Snuka's son, doesn't catch the dead man and he nearly breaks his head. That's right, Pinhead. And then we carry on. Shawn continuing to be resilient, not giving in. The Undertaker's not used to this, especially a guy like Shawn's size, not used to this resiliency. He won't go down. Shawn Michaels at the last second here gains of momentum, gains of that confidence. He goes to the top rope, goes for a moonsault. And when you go on the top rope, high risk, high reward. But this time, he risks it, goes for the moonsault. Taker catches him and places him in the tombstone, gets the victory, and beats Shawn Michaels. I don't know how better it can get. I don't know. It's simple storytelling. Two all-time greats going out there and trying to prove who is the best man. The Undertaker was on that night. Shawn Michaels would be gone for months on end. We alluded to that earlier. Would return in 09. Form DX. Feud with Jericho, like you mentioned in the chat. Great call out there. A feud with Legacy. Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. And in the midst of it all, January 4th, 2010 was a very impactful episode of Monday Night Raw. Because it was the return of Bret Hart, who had not been seen in 13 years. And he makes peace with Shawn Michaels. They shake hands, they embrace. There's that sign of respect. That sign of respect. Shawn Michaels versus Kozlov, that's right. Shawn beat Kozlov to face Taker. Good call. Ghazi, you first. Muhammad knows Monday Night Wars. TNA. That's why I said impactful. Good catch. TNA was obviously doing the first ever Monday Night edition. And I just saw San Fran's comment. They make peace. Bret and Shawn make peace, and something that not many people would have thought. But throughout the course of it all, I'll never forget the Slammy Awards in 2009. Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, they win Match of the Year, the Slammies, and Shawn accepts the award. And, it's cool, it's nice, hey, great match, I didn't get the win. And as he's leaving to the back, he circles back and he comes back to the podium and says, Undertaker, I can beat you. He doubles down. I want to see you at WrestleMania 26. This is now 2010. This feud for me started in 07. 2010. Shawn Michaels tells The Undertaker, I can beat you. Taker doesn't want it. Doesn't see the point of it. Dwayne has a great point here. Shawn is the GOAT. His finisher has been buried by everyone but him. No one does it like him, Dwayne, but I gotta agree with you. The oversaturation and the overuse of the super kick is one thing, but Shawn's the GOAT. Thank you for the comment there, Dwayne. At WrestleMania 26, it was quite the build-up. Shawn Michaels needs to face The Undertaker. It's the last thing he has not accomplished. World Championships, Intercontinental titles, Tag Team titles, Royal Rumbles, Grand Slams. He's done it all. He's beaten legends after legends. Hasn't beaten Taker at WrestleMania. Taker says, I'm not going to do it. I don't need to face you. Keep in mind, Taker's the world champion. Shawn enters the Rumble. You win the Rumble, you get a guaranteed opportunity at the championship of your choice at WrestleMania. He doesn't get it done, and it's heartbreaking. Funny enough, the Heartbreak Kid, right? That look of desperation from Shawn when he's not able to win the Rumble. Great selling. Say what you want about Shawn, his selling is phenomenal. You could feel the despair. You could feel the air deflating in the room when Shawn was eliminated. I was rooting for him to win that Rumble. He doesn't. So he has to take matters into his own hands. At the Elimination Chamber event in February of 2010, The Undertaker defends his World Championship against 5 other opponents. Nearly wins it. He's now one-on-one with Chris Jericho as the final 2 in the chamber. And if you know how the chamber is structured, obviously it's a big cage, and there is metal grates on the edges of the ring. And one of them lifts up. It's Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels emerges from underneath the chamber, enters the chamber, sweet chin music to The Undertaker. Costs him the World Championship. To who else? Chris Jericho, one of Michaels' hated rivals. But that's what mattered to him. He didn't care that Jericho, the guy who punched his wife, who injured his eye, who took years off of his career, he didn't care that he helped him win. He needed to get The Undertaker. Obsession is the word. The following night, he challenges Taker again, knowing he got under his skin, knowing he cost him the world title. That's not once, that's now twice. Go back to 97, SummerSlam. He has his number. And Taker says, I'll face you at Mania. It's streak versus career. Taker says, your career needs to be on the line. And Shawn has one of the hardest lines. He says, "If I can't beat you at WrestleMania, then I have no career." So the stage is set. WrestleMania 26, March 28th, 2010, Glendale, Arizona. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. Oscar says, "This top of the head? Or are we reading a script?" This is top of the head, buddy. Because I lived it. I was watching it live. This is all top of the head. If you see me look to the ground, then you know I'm looking at notes. But this, we're here. Like I said, WrestleMania 26. Shawn versus The Undertaker, part 2 at WrestleMania. The culmination, or what we thought was a culmination. 2007, the Royal Rumble. Taker wins. 2008, the Royal Rumble. Shawn eliminates Taker. 2009, Taker beats Shawn at WrestleMania. And now it's streak versus career. Can Shawn beat The Undertaker finally? The Fiend's something we can't forget. What's your favorite NBA team? The Warriors. We just got that dub. Warriors. Come on now. I'm going to be honest. I wish that Shawn would have won this one. I was a big Shawn guy, and ironically enough, San Fran 5 and I, my brother, WrestleMania 25, I was going for Taker. He was going for Shawn. And then the next year, he was going for Taker. I was going for Shawn. It's also funny because Shawn's my favorite of all time. My brother, his favorite is The Undertaker. So, a little bit of a great incentive there for us to watch. Being there live. Love that we got Jimmy Buckets. It was a great trade. It really rejuvenated the season for the Warriors. He's looking good too. Got that dub today. Had a triple-double the other night as well. It was a crazy experience to watch WrestleMania 26 live, seeing Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. My dad, my brother, and I, we were in attendance for that show. My dad had the hookup. He knew a worker at the stadium who was able to get us passes to the floor. So for the entrances, when Undertaker and Shawn Michaels are coming out to the match, coming out to the ring, we're on the ground and we're watching them. We're like yards away. When Undertaker comes out, he has these pyro come out. We could feel the heat. That's how close we were. It's a memory I'll always cherish, to see two of the all-time greats with my brother and my dad. There's a moment, I always like to point it out because I'm very proud of it. There's a moment where you can see myself, my brother, and my dad walking past the matchup in the hard cam. We have a video here on the channel in the shorts. Even on TikTok, it's there as well, of the clip. If you're ever watching the matchup of WrestleMania 26, it's at the very beginning of the match. Undertaker and Shawn face to face. And in the early seconds of the matchup, like the first minute we're there, The Undertaker is giving chops to Shawn Michaels, and then Shawn's giving chops to The Undertaker. When The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels are in the top right corner of the ring, for a brief second, you can see my brother, my dad, and I walking. I'm the kid. I don't have a beard. I'm the kid where I'm looking right at the camera. My brother is way shorter than me. But the giveaway is my dad, who's wearing this white hat. Not this one, obviously, but he's wearing a white hat and like a gray shirt. Again, the video's available on our shorts here on YouTube or on my TikTok at @JAreaPod_, if you want to check it out. Very proud moment there. You would totally agree with Shawn. I think you have a major respect for Shawn. Lesnar was also something. Damn. 100%. Did you ever meet wrestlers? Sammy, I was fortunate enough to meet Rey Mysterio. Again, if you look at the community posts, one of the very first community posts on this channel, YouTube, there's a picture of my brother and I, my sister, who I kind of cropped out for, reasons. Because there's people weird on the internet. I'll just put that. There's people weird on the internet. But we took a picture with Rey Mysterio. We met him in 2008. It was around the time of Cyber Sunday. Cyber Sunday 2008, takes place in Arizona. We heard that Ray was going to be at this car dealership. It might have been a Nissan dealership if my memory is right. And we get in line and we meet Rey Mysterio, super cool guy. I was 10 years old, but I remember him being very patient, very cool. I mean, these are three kids that, like, don't know what the hell's going on. Awesome dude. No complaints. He's exactly what you would hope he would be. And it was cool because my brother gave him a drawing of a mask. So at this time, WWE Magazine, they had this thing where you can create your own Rey Mysterio mask. And I traced it. So I traced the mask, gave it to my brother, and I'm like, hey, color a mask. Maybe we can give it to Ray. He colors it, and it's like half yellow and half black. So like one side's yellow, one side's black. Because at the time, Transformers had came out, and he loved Bumblebee. We still do. Gives it to Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio's like, wow, this is cool. Like, I'll get my guy to work on it, and I'll get this made. Yeah, this is awesome. And I mean, like, me as a brother, I'm like, he's just saying that, you know. But a month later, Ray wears the mask on Monday Night Raw. Half yellow, half black. And I tell my brother, I'm like, he's wearing the mask that he made. Awesome moment. Awesome moment. Steve Austin entrance and goosebumps. Yeah, the glass. I think we're going to hear the glass at WrestleMania. That's my early prediction. And I got unreasonably angry when I remember Taker beat Ric Flair, Edge, Shawn, Punk, but lost to Brock. I'm with you, Dwayne. I'm a firm believer that Taker should have never lost. I think he should have retired. If he was going to lose, though, Roman and Bray. Roman and Bray are the guys I would have had as the ones to break the streak. Lesnar didn't need it. That's my opinion. Oscar says, on your way out, get back to the business and put someone over. They wasted it on Brock, 100%, because there was nobody else. They dropped the ball in the streak. Should have put over an up-and-coming star. Oscar, I agree with you wholeheartedly. You said it perfectly. Put over the next generation. That's why I think Roman and Bray, those guys would have benefited great. I mean, Roman would have been a heel because they booed the hell out of him when he did beat him. And Bray, I think it just would have made sense. Sanford says, I still remember going to WrestleMania 26, even the parking lot. Yeah. Vividly. And that was like, I could feel the flames from Taker's entrance. Told you. And that was what, 15 years ago? Man. Don't mind me just admiring the shape of your skull. Thanks. Appreciate that. We were talking about WrestleMania 26. Shawn and Taker deliver, again, match of the year. What else would you expect? A great showing by both men, but Taker gets the upper hand. He beats Shawn. Ends a legendary career. That matchup for me will always be up there. I look at 25 and 26 as a double feature. When someone asks me which one do you prefer, I can't say. It's tough. It's really tough. Love both matches for their own unique reasons. Bro, Lesnar's a different guy. I didn't know how much fast he is, but fastest among them all. He's a different breed. In 2011, Shawn Michaels would enter the Hall of Fame, but it wouldn't be over. The story starts in 2007. In 2011, Triple H challenges The Undertaker at WrestleMania 27, saying, I will do the thing that my friend Shawn could not do. I'm going to beat the streak. Spoiler alert, he doesn't. He doesn't beat the streak. WrestleMania 28 rolls around. We're now in 2012. This is now 5 years later. And Triple H and The Undertaker run it back. Because The Undertaker wants to settle the score. At WrestleMania 27, Triple H beats The Undertaker with an inch of his life, to the point where The Undertaker can't walk to the back. He has to be carted off. We're left with this doubt. Does The Undertaker still have it? He challenges Triple H to a Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 28, not just a Hell in a Cell, with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee, tying it all together. The end of an era, they were calling it. One of the best Hell in a Cell matches, for sure. There was a moment where Shawn Michaels delivers a sweet chin music to The Undertaker that leads into a pedigree by Triple H. And I thought for sure that was it. I'll never forget that false finish. A great false finish. Wow. But Taker gets the win. Thank you for the hearts in the chat. Taker gets the win in a great matchup. Yeah, man, I feel like Bray Wyatt winning makes sense. The Monster versus the Cult Leader makes sense. Me personally, Roman makes sense. Bray's the guy I would have went with. Shout out to Dwayne. Why Mark Henry is the strongest man? Because that's what he do. World's strongest man. He pulled a semi. He rolls frying pans in half. Like, rolls them up. Like, ain't no doubt about it. Great theme song, by the way, Mark Henry. After WrestleMania 28, Shawn makes again various appearances. We don't talk about the Crown Jewel matchup. I will not talk about that matchup. Although Shawn Michaels was the best wrestler in that ring when it was Kane and Undertaker versus Shawn and Triple H. I try to ignore that. 2019, he'd go in the Hall of Fame again as a member of DX. And from there on out, he would become a writer and a producer of NXT, the vice president of talent development. And now he's the senior vice president of talent development, where he runs NXT, one of the best weekly shows in pro wrestling. He's cooking, man. He's cooking. Greatest of all time. Like I said, match of the years 15 times. His Brett feud, his Undertaker feud are considered some of the greatest of all time. He's inspired individuals like Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, and so many others to pursue wrestling and pursue his style. Influential, can't even begin to describe what Shawn Michaels has done. 4-time world champion, 3-time intercontinental champion, a European champion, a 6-time tag team champion, Grand Slam winner, 2-time Royal Rumble winner, a Triple Crown, and 2-time Hall of Famer. But arguably, in Shawn's opinion, his greatest accomplishment is his marriage to Rebecca in 1999 and the birth of his 2 children, bringing it all the way back. Shawn Michaels, for me, the greatest of all time, without a doubt. If he's not the greatest of all time, he has to be in your top 3, I think. 15-time match of the year. Could have a matchup by himself and deliver. Who is considered the most hated wrestler of all time? I don't know. Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, that's my opinion. Sexual Chocolate is a great theme song. Dwayne, my man's cultured. Not the theme song I was thinking about, but you might have changed my mind. Oscar, I've always wondered how many WrestleManias did Taker win before someone noticed he had never lost one and turned it into a storyline, or was it always made that way from his first WrestleMania? I've wanted to know that too. They didn't acknowledge it until like WrestleMania 10, because that's when The Undertaker beats Ric Flair and he does the whole count, realizing that it's 10. So, but in terms of behind the scenes, yeah, I wonder at what point did they recognize, like, hey, this guy hasn't lost yet? Great question, Oscar. Dominic Mysterio ever won a match? He has. He was a former North American champion, actually. But you wouldn't know that because they don't really have him wrestle singles that much anymore. But he is a former North American champion and a former tag team champion with his dad, Ray. But that's the story and the career of Shawn Michaels. Everyone in the chat, go ahead and comment down below some of your favorite Shawn matches or anything you want to ask or any questions or any comments. Please feel free to throw them out there. The stream is basically yours now. A lot of great conversations here and great participation. A lot of new people in the chat, so we appreciate that. Salvi, didn't Shawn train Bryan Danielson? He was a part of his school. Yeah, Bryan Danielson, Paul London, Brian Kendrick, and Lance Cade were all members of Shawn Michaels' school. And that's awesome. That's awesome. To have Shawn Michaels, the greatest of all time, and Bryan Danielson, who's up there as one of the best of all time, be linked that way, that's awesome. Love it. Shout out to Salvi there. Who wins the match between Austin and Shawn Michaels? Stone Cold, WrestleMania 14. Boston, Massachusetts. He goes over. Muhammad says, rest in peace, Lance Cade. Yeah. A lot of wrestlers say Shawn is the greatest in-ring performer of all time. Oscar, I'd have to agree with that. I'd have to agree with that. And that theme song was just the GOAT. It's up there. As you all know, the theme song does make a star. Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch Part 6. Keep those guys away from each other for a minute. I like both of them, but I want to see something fresh, something new. The question is, where is Becky Lynch? I swore I thought she was going to return at the Raw debut on Netflix. She never did. She never did. Then maybe the Rumble? Never did. So now I'm thinking maybe the Raw after WrestleMania. But it's been a minute since we've seen Becky Lynch. Since maybe May? When King and Queen of the Ring took place? When she lost the title? Around that time. We haven't seen Becky Lynch in a minute there. Roxanne Perez. I'm a big fan of Roxanne Perez. Love Roxanne Perez. She's going to be a star. And she's only, I always say, like, she's only 23. Like, she has so much time left on her career. Like, this girl can go, man. Fan of hers. Cringe says, for me, top 3 of all time, The Undertaker, Brock, and Shawn. That's a solid top 3. I like it. The only time I feel Sweet Chin Music can be countered without being reversed is if the opponent is just really tall. It would be a great comedy spot, too. Yeah, and, like, he hits him in, like, the stomach or even the knee or something. That'd be funny. They probably have done it, but like if he's going for the Sweet Chin Music and the opponent falls before he lands it, like they're just kind of selling the effects and they fall, and then Shawn kicks and there's no one there. Oh, Salvi, that's awesome. Mind Games, Mankind and Shawn, that's a great match. One of the early instances of like a hardcore match for the WWF at that time. Great call there. Mind Games. Mariah May, I like Mariah May. I'm a fan. Her feud with Tony Storm, fantastic. I think the feud of the year for AEW. I think they should have main evented. That's not a hot take. I feel like a lot of people would agree with me in that regard that Mariah May versus Tony Storm should have been the main event. And even then, they were promoting Queen of the Ring, the film about Mildred Burke, and they missed an opportunity to have Tony and Mariah May main event. They didn't go that route. Speaking of Brock, is he out of the spotlight because of the scandal? Yeah, no, I think it's mostly because of the scandal. Is he done for good? I think maybe he has 1 or 2 left in him. I would like to see him against Gunther and Braun Breaker. But the scandal is pretty much what's kept him out of the limelight. Who's better, Paul Bearer or Paul Heyman? I love Paul Bearer, but I gotta go Paul Heyman. Better on the mic, better clients, ECW. I gotta go Paul Heyman, but I love Paul Bearer. I wish my girl Mandy Rose comes back to the WWE. I'm always open to seeing old faces return, but I'm not really holding my breath. You know, nothing against Mandy. She was good for her role. I feel like this is a rare dream match, and I don't remember it happened, but I feel like Dude Love versus Shawn Michaels would be great. I don't know if they did face off. I know Mick Foley has always made the comment that Dude Love was kind of like what Shawn Michaels would become. I don't think it ever happened either, Dwayne. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in a tag team match. But if it did happen, it would have had to happen in 97. Good point there, though, by Dwayne. Thank you for the comment there. Triple H too much hated this time. I don't know what you're getting at there. Raquel Rodriguez, nothing against her, but I'm not really a fan of Raquel Rodriguez. Again, it's just not for me, Nothing personal, just not for me. Jeremy, cheers from Canada. Hey, our buddies up north. What's going on? I love Canada. I've talked about it on the stream before. People want to go to Spain. People want to go to Italy. I kind of want to go to Canada. Just to say I've been there. Whether it's like Montreal, Ontario, Winnipeg, Vancouver. Something about Canada. I like the cold. Cheers from Canada. Right on. Great wrestlers. Great wrestlers come from Canada, man. That's a fact. There's something in the water over there because Bret Hart, Edge, Christian, Jericho, Trish Stratus, Natty, Kenny Omega, Kevin Owens, so many people. Rock Instagram followers are too much. I don't follow him on Instagram, so I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know. What are you guys' thoughts on The Rock's final boss character? He's been running this character for, maybe a year now? Because the build up to WrestleMania 40. Is The Rock on steroids? I hope not. Because that would suck. I hope not. Do you have any examples of a comedy match with two genuinely good in the ring competitors? Because when I think comedy matches, like the first one I think of is Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn, but those aren't two competitors. The Rock gonna drop in 10 years too much juice. Oh, you think so, Oscar? Damn. You keep looking. Camera about to. Rock is what, 50? Yeah, he's like in his 50s. So that would be like in his 60s? Damn. Again, I hope not. Strowman versus New Day was a comedy one. Can't be that old and that big. I mean, I'm trying to think of examples of like guys who are in shape like that. Believing The Rock's on steroids is the same as believing in Santa Claus is real. Damn, I don't want to believe it. That's the thing. Because that kind of tarnishes it, right? But it's tough. It's tough. I love Lita. Lita's one of the greatest of all time. Shawn's entrance at WrestleMania 12 was great one. Was great one of the first great ones. It was solid. Where he comes down with the zip line. Classic. I'm trying to think of that comedy match though between two wrestlers. Like, because you said a comedy matchup between two genuinely good wrestlers. I can't tell you. Ronda Rousey, not a fan of Ronda Rousey. Like, cool. She had some good matches, but I wouldn't say like, oh, my favorite, Roman Reigns versus Cena. We have Cena before, but this version of Roman Reigns versus Cena would be interesting. I feel like it's weird that no one had the idea to do a top rope pile driver, kind of like a suplex. I mean, you're running a risk there. A top rope pile driver is crazy. Two cold beers and 3 shots is what all great Canadian wrestlers slammed down before the curtain opened. You named a great handful of all-time Canadians, and those are just the ones off the top of my head. There are so many other ones too. That Lance Storm. I didn't even say Lance Storm. So many people I left off that list. It's ridiculous. I don't even know if I said Sammy. It's ridiculous. I genuinely believe that Canadians are the best wrestlers. Like, in terms of a country, Canadians have the best. Europe has great ones. There's some solid North Americans, or I guess I should just say Americans. But Canadians, dude. Who's going to win? Cody versus Final Boss? Cody. He's got to get his get back. Rock has been whipping him every chance he gets. It's got to be Cody. Archers and Santino have had great comedy moments. I thought about them, but I was like, had they had a match? And I can't think of a matchup together. Why did Jinder leave WWE? They released him, I believe. I believe they released him in 2020. 2024, was it? Because it was like leading into WrestleMania 40, I believe. What would be your finisher if you were a wrestler? I mean, he's my favorite, the super kick, but everyone does the super kick. Everyone does it, so I immediately want to take that out because everyone does it anyway. That's a good question. The cutter's good, whether it's like the Randy Orton cutter or the diamond cutter. Those are good ones, but one that I want to keep. Personally, I've always liked the submissions. So like the sharpshooter, the crossface, something like that. But I want to have like two of them. You know, maybe a submission hold and then like an actual one. That's tough. I never really thought. I can't believe I never thought of it. Because I would say the super kick, but it's like everybody does that. But that would be technically my answer. I feel like the playmaker would legitimately hurt the wrestler doing it more than the person taking. You're literally landing on your padded calf. The playmaker. That's crazy that you called that one out. Inverted pile driver that Owen Hart did on Steve Austin with my finisher. You're gonna kill someone, Oscar. You're like, dude. I mean, that broke his neck. I mean, hey, what what do you think about Seth, Roman, and Punk? Hell in a Cell. Much love from India. Appreciate that. We're sending our love to you as well. I don't know about Hell in a Cell. I think you can get away with just having these three have a standard triple threat match. Given the bad blood between all three, though, it's probably going to be something no holds barred, street fight, falls count anywhere, something like that. I don't think it's going to be a Hell in a Cell, just because Punk has already done it. If it was Roman versus Rollins, you have a shot, but I don't think Hell in a Cell. I don't think it's needed. Vicky Guerrero, great heel. Vicky was a great heel. Sami Zayn Haluva kick would be mine. Solid. Solid. Canadian Destroyer. I thought about it, but I'm like, I can't do no Canadian Destroyer, Like, i I'm trying to be realistic too. But Canadian Destroyer is a great one. Super kick has been murdered to death in WWE. The Usos do like 10 super kicks a match. And that's why I'm like, everybody does it. The Usos, Adam Cole, the Young Bucks, everybody does it. So it's like, it's not even a real finish anymore. It's like a transition move. AJ Lee, I love AJ Lee. AJ Lee was my favorite during that era for the women's wrestler. AJ Lee is one of the best. Plus, I was a fan of hers and CM Punk before they got together. So when I found out they got together, I was like, makes sense to me. Roddy Piper, Canadian, yeah, was he? Yeah, because he's cousins with Brett, I believe. Our best jobber, Iron Mike Sharp is a crazy pull. Jeremy with a crazy pull, awesome. Viceman working Punk. Oh, Wiseman? You mean Wiseman working Punk? The Texas Clover. The Texas Cloverleaf is a good one. Do you know what move I was thinking of? It's called El Lasso from El Paso. It was like Eddie Guerrero's finish, where it almost looked like it wasn't quite like a sharpshooter or like a Walls of Jericho type of deal, but he would like pull them back on their upper neck. That move is crazy. I like the Lion Tamer. Maybe that. I like the Lion Tamer, so maybe that. Do you think the Shield will come back in their last days after retirement? I don't know if Moxley will ever come back to the WWE for like in ring work. I do think maybe in the future when he retires, they'll make appearances. They'll go in the Hall of Fame together. I think so. 25 years ago today is when Bubba put May through the table. Is that right? Was that today? Mae Young was a trooper who was willing to take those kind of hits and those bumps. That's wild. 25 years ago already. But to answer your question, Cringe, yeah, not in the ring, but maybe like as a appearance type of deal. Texas Rattlesnake, Austin. Oh, the Stunner's a good one. The Stunner's a good one. Oh, realistically though, because now thinking about it, because I want to be able to hit something on everybody. It's gonna be the RKO, because you can hit on anybody. the RKO, the Diamond Cutter, some kind of cutter. That would be my finish. Final answer. I'm locking that in. Submissions moves basically rely on your character either being really cool or having a lot of emotion. True. But I like having the versatility. Because it's like, let's say, for example, I like the RKO because you can hit out of nowhere, literally. But a submission move, maybe you can't hit it on an opponent, or maybe it calls for it in the story. I think it's good to have a wide array in your arsenal. Why WWE script sucked during Royal Rumble for Jey Uso to win, while many of us demand for John. Well, hey, John won the Chamber, so it really doesn't change anything. John won the Chamber, still gets his championship match against Cody. I thought Punk or Cena was going to win, but they went with Jay, and I'm fine with it. I like Jey Uso. I like that it was a surprise. Not anybody was really picking Jay. For me, I was looking at guys like Cena, Punk, Roman, and Seth, and Sammy were the guys I thought had a shot to win it. And Jey Uso, I didn't even think about it because he just lost at Saturday night's main event, so I'm cool with it. Cena still gets his championship matchup, and it makes sense for the narrative. You say that the script sucked by having Cena lose. I think it makes perfect sense. Cena loses the Rumble. He loses to Jey Uso. He loses an opportunity at that World Championship, so now it's desperation time. He put himself in the chamber, didn't qualify, he put himself in the chamber, wins the chamber, and now has a matchup. He's desperate. That's why he's turned heel. He's desperate for number 17. There's no more second chances. He has to do it now. It makes sense to me. I like it. Dwayne says, yeah, man, but you have a significant advantage in all submission matches, which is a big pro for submission finishers. Exactly. I think it's good to have Arsenal. Prime wrestlers versus now. Prime wrestlers versus now wrestlers. No, I mean, okay, if you're talking about like Cena versus Jey Uso, I mean, yeah, no kidding. Cena's better than Jey. But given the current status, the current state of the roster, Jey goes over because Cena hasn't won a singles match since 2018. So he's naturally desperate. Naturally. He's not what he used to be. There's not that confidence anymore. I think Jey was the right call. Because again, Cena won the chamber anyway, so it doesn't change anything. Any chance Cody wins? I think he does. As of right now, I think Cody wins. My mind could change. I need to see how they interact. I need to see a promo between the two. I need to see how they book Cody and Cena leading up to 41. But right now, I'm thinking Cody. My uncle got me hooked in the Mid-South and NWA back in 81. My favorite wrestler was the Woogie Boogie Man, Jimmy Valiant. And at the times, he would tag up with the Junkyard Dog, classic babyface, huge pop, crowd power. Junkyard Dog, man. Hall of Fame, class of 04, solid. Always loved the chain. You know, he did the headbutt. Shout out to JYD. I love Tiffany Stratton. The prettiest moonsault ever. Unfortunately, she's going to lose to Charlotte. I want her to beat Charlotte. I don't see it happening. I think Charlotte wins, unfortunately. Because they're trying to push Charlotte to win that record as well. What do you do with the Jason mask? It was for Halloween. It was a Halloween costume, and you can see a little bit of a Freddy Krueger glove up there as well. Halloween costumes. I just keep them up there. Have our... Oh yeah, for people can't even see it actually. Have our Winged Eagle in the background there. Right underneath our balloon that says 2K. When we hit 2,000 subs, we had that prepared, and we're on the road to 3,000. We have that. Winged Eagle, my favorite version of the WWE title. And then anybody else wants to check out the other... Got my wall of DVDs as well. If you want a better look, you can check out any of the videos. Our long-form videos, not the lives, but you get a better look at the layout. Which belt is that? The WWE Championship, the Winged Eagle. Get a better look. You get a better look like that. That's the WWE title that Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Savage, Taker, they all held that title. What wrestler do you think should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago, but isn't yet? Well, they just put Luger in. Definitely think Luger, but I mean, he's going in. I've always been a fan of Regal. Regal should go in there, but I'm trying to think way back when. People from, way before, like older wrestlers. In terms of people who haven't been in there yet, I still think Regal, Christian, but Christian's in AEW, of course. They should be in there. The Rock hasn't gone in there yet. I don't know when he's gonna go in there, but he should be going in there. I don't know. He put me on the spot there. I have to think about that. Jose versus Texas Chainsaw. Dude, I'm taking an L. I'm taking an L big time in that regard. Bret Hart's belt, according to him, it's the best it's the best belt of all time. It's his belt. Love Shawn, but that's Bret's title. WWE copied UFC with all the belts looking the same. Yeah, I'm not a fan of all the titles looking the same. Jose versus Scott Steiner. I'd lose that one too. I feel like the ring post. Hey, look! Shout out to San Fran 5. Do you have the other one?
Yeah, I got them both, dude. Yeah, I heard Winged Eagle, so I thought, you know what? Let me bring in Big Blue over here, or Big Eagle. And of course, I mean, greatest belt of all time right here, Big Gold.
The greatest championship of all time.
Look at all this gold right here. Just thought I stop by and say hi, guys. I know it's been a while, but...
We got 100 in the chat.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still alive. I've just been working a lot. I just got out like an hour ago. So yeah, just want to make a cameo. See you guys. See you, dude.
Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I'll see you guys next time or soon.
Salvi says, "What's up, San Fran?"
Yeah. What's up, Salvi? Alright, deuces.
Someone said, "Why did Hulk Hogan say the N-word?"
Hey man, Hulk Hogan, he's a jabroni.
Hey, Gab says, "What's up?" Gab says, "What's up?"
What's up, guys? Remember? Too Sweet, you know? So I heard we talk about Shawn Michaels.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
So yeah. By the way, out of all the Click members, Kevin Nash is the worst one.
I have... Unfortunately, yeah, Kevin Nash is the worst Click member.
Well, I mean, I always go by CM Punk of that one segment on Raw. Well, with when they hear Click.
The Click?
Yeah. I'll let you guys go, though.
Oh, wait, you mean you're more than welcome if...
No, I'm going to take a shower, dude.
All right. That was our cameo by San Fran. Gab says, yeet.
Yeet.
Let's see. Well, let me see, go back. Dwayne says, I feel like the ring post is kind of underutilized for anything besides ramming someone's head. And a great example. Yeah. Bret Hart's figure 4 on the ring post was a great spot, I agree. Most iconic for me is when he did it to Stone Cold at WrestleMania 13. Why did Hogan say it? Because Hogan's showing his real colors. Salvi says, what's up? Jeremy says, you know your stuff. I like that. Finally, do you think Hulk stole the superstar Billy Graham gimmick? Oh, yeah. I mean, if I appreciate, first of all, I appreciate it, Jeremy, and consider subbing if you haven't already. Appreciate it, buddy. I think it goes without question that a guy like Superstar Billy Graham and Jesse Ventura were huge proponents as to who Hulk Hogan would end up becoming. He doesn't have to say he ripped it off. He could definitely say, like, hey, he was influenced and inspired. But definitely, yeah, he took from Superstar Billy Graham. No doubt about it. What qualifies someone for Hall of Fame? Is it like... What happened?
One more thing.
Okay, he's back. Hold on.
One more thing, guys. Okay? Postcard scene. For those of you who don't believe I love Iron Sheik, I'm telling you guys, I actually have it. Okay? The action figure of Iron Sheik. Okay? Number one guy. Okay? He's the best. Hulk Hogan's a jabroni.
Yeah, we like Sheik.
Yeah. Sheiky for the win.
Sheiky for the win.
That's it.
Okay. Hey, the door's there. Whatever you want. It's open for you, buddy.
All right. No, for that's it, though.
Okay. Yeah, he took the gimmick, though. What qualifies someone for the Hall of Fame is like the NFL, where people in the business have a vote. And no, it's really just like creative and like Triple H at this point. You know, there's not really a criteria. Dude, Drew Carey, Coco Beware are in it, and it's like, what do those guys do? Who'd they ever beat? I'm with you. Sweet goal. Appreciate that, Jeremy. Yeet, high Sanford. Shield or Bloodline? I'm gonna go Shield. Is Hulk Hogan against Hispanics? I'm not sure, but I wouldn't doubt it. Appreciate Gabs, the thumbs up. Thank you so much. Do I watch cricket? I do not. One of the craziest things I ever saw was Morrison's spot with the ladder and the moonsault off the top rope. Morrison was a menace, dude. Like, that dude's crazy. The parkour stuff, shout out to John Morrison. What about Cena's heel turn? Great heel turn. Great heel turn. We love it. Finally, something fresh. I'm a big fan. Trump deserves that. I don't know about that. The Hall of Fame? I don't know about that. Cena heel turn. I'm wondering, why do Indians glaze Roman so much? I don't know. You have to ask them. Don't know. Love the profile picture of Sal Volcano, though. That's a great one. Speaking of great one, did you see the show Young Rock? I kept up with it up until its cancellation. I was a fan of it. It was providing a different look at The Rock and his upbringing. So, yes, Salvi, I did watch it. Jesse, are you okay? I'm doing fine. By the way, Hulk Hogan left his meet and greet earlier. Did he really? He really left his... Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Hey, man, what's going on? How's it going? Going well. How are you? Quick question. What do you think of Penta? Love Penta. Big fan. I love the presentation, the entrance, the music, the moves. His promos are getting better. Love Penta. Big fan. Can't wait for Phoenix to come in and see what those two can do together. What about Jacob Fatu versus Strowman? Jacob Fatu, 100%. 100%. I love their matchup. Roman just looks like an alien, I guess. Thanks for your time and live stream. It's been a great and awesome. I can't freaking wait for heel. Yeah, for Cena's gonna be crazy on Monday. If you go live after Raw, I'll stop by. I might have to clock out. Sammy, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for stopping by for the live stream. Always look forward to seeing my friends here on YouTube. So thank you again for stopping by, Sammy. Have a good one. Be safe. Dwayne says, dude, you guys are going quick. Iron Sheik, but I kind of prefer the original Sheik or Sabu. That's cool too. Yeah. Sheik and Sabu. I didn't know they were related until like the longest. So like he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, 07. Goldberg, Stone Cold, Gilbert, or Oldberg? Stone Cold. And then Gilbert. Greetings from Russia. Hey, our friends from Russia. What's going on? Assalamu alaikum. Right on. Shawn Michaels over Kane every time. He was having a meet and greet at a grocery store to promote his beer and was late, and not only that, but he left early with nearly 100 people in line. They waited hours too, apparently. Oh, that just shows you who he is, right? Jesse says, my head hurts. I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that, Jesse. Peace out, Sammy. Liam Plays, what's up? What's up? Iron Sheik, Sheiky, baby. What is the current age of Michaels? That's a good question. I know his birthday was like in 67. No, his birthday's in 65, so he's about to be... Wow, he's about to be 70. That's crazy. Wait. No, 60. Yeah, I was over a decade. My fault. I'd had to redo the math. He's going to be 60. Love from the West Pole. Shout out, Alex. Give me some fist bump. I'll give you a fist bump right there, buddy. Carlito, he's still at the Judgment Day. I forgot to sub. Sorry. Liam, please, hook it up. It's free. Push the subscribe button. Stay up to date with all the content. We do have our J Area Wrestling Show on Mondays, clips on Wednesdays, videos on Fridays, which reminds me, we're going to have a video out on Friday afternoon. I'm going to be doing a tier ranking of every WrestleMania logo, so please check that out if you want to see my take on every single WrestleMania logo. Also, we have our live streams on Sunday, Monday, and Thursday, so tune in for those. He became a grandpa, I think. Did he? I don't know if his kids are old enough to have kids, but I mean, hey. Nia Jax. Nia Jax has gotten better. Had a great year in 2024. Happy for her. Liam says, I'm a child. Right on. I'm a child at heart. Speaking of Arabian characters, Abdullah the Butcher, shout out. That's a big, deep cut for people who aren't familiar. Is interesting because I actually saw one of his matches. I'm pretty sure he didn't like his opponent, so he stabbed him with a fork. But wasn't it his gimmick? The whole fork, he used it as a foreign weapon. I got blood tugged out of me, aka needle. Oh, you got blood sucked out of me, aka a needle. Mm, like a blood testing. Needles aren't fun. Whatever happened to Eugene? From a doctor? Yeah. At least it's over with. Whatever happened to Eugene? Whatever did happen? Well, I mean, we talked about him. Like, he has apparently a YouTube channel. Apparently that's what he does now. Oscar, shout out. Eugene made a comeback, but fizzled out of character, ran its course. Because I remember the last time I saw Eugene was like in 2007, the build up to WrestleMania 23. After that, did not hear about him ever again. What are your thoughts on another huge crowd pop tag team, late 80s, early 90s, Demolition versus Legion of Doom, aka the Road Warriors? So a lot of people say Demolition's like a ripoff of the Road Warriors. I think Demolition should go in the Hall of Fame this year. They just recently signed a Legends deal with the WWE, which hints that they should be going in the Hall of Fame probably. Legion of Doom, one of the greatest of all time. Hawk and Animal, just the look, the aesthetic, the entrance, the power and ferocity that these two would bring against their opponents. And they were one of the most over acts in wrestling. There's a reason why it's called the Road Warrior pop, because these guys, no matter what town they hit, always over. Love it. Our U.S. Army enjoyed the match between Cena and the Big Show. Usually had a great showing between these two. I like the Michael Myers in the background. I like Michael Myers too. I am a fan, but that is Jason Voorhees. But I can see the similarities. Dylan, I can't help you in that department. I'm sorry. I'm not the most qualified when it comes to relationship. I'm sorry about that. But I guess be yourself. You know, at the end of the day, be yourself. Don't change yourself. Don't change for nobody. Don't change for nobody. Nikki Cross. I'm a fan of Nikki Cross. I'm a fan of Nikki Cross. Do you believe WWE should have a PLE at Japan? Absolutely. Absolutely. Liam Payne says, "Damn it, I thought you were a kid. What kind of language are you using on the internet? What's going on?" Yeah, man, but this was like real. There was no razor involved in this. He just continued twisting and yanking side to side until his head locked out. Ooh. And like Abdullah the Butcher, very notorious for the fork, but obviously like, the blade drops too. I mean, he had the scars on his forehead. You're probably, I mean, ooh, that's ferocious, man. Nakamura, I like Nakamura, but I do not like his U.S. title run. I like the new version of Nakamura, the change in the theme song, the more menacing look. I'm a fan of that. But this U.S. title run wasn't worth anything. It was a blink and you miss it. It should never happened, truthfully. LA Knight should never lost the title, in my opinion. But I like Nakamura. Best in NXT. That was the best I've seen. I saw some New Japan, but I was more familiar with his game in NXT. Israel, how about them Dallas Cow? Come on now. Come on now. You guys already know. Hold on. That's Niner gang. We don't tolerate no Cowboys. What's your opinion on the Anoa'i family? I think it's the greatest wrestling dynasty of all time. I mean, head to toe, they have so much talent, so many championship accolades. The greatest wrestling dynasty. Hart family or Fatu family? If it's strictly just the Fatu, if it's strictly just the Fatu family, I gotta go Hart. But if it's Anoa'i, you gotta go Anoa'i family. Shout out to Bobby Ian. Real callback there. In terms of dominance between the two, I think you gotta go Fatu. Bret Hart does a lot of heavy lifting in the Hart family. Because aside from Bret, it's like Owen and Natty. British Bulldog, Jim Neidhart, they didn't win the world titles. Bret Hart does a lot of heavy lifting. Io Sky, Nolan, that's my favorite one so far. Aside from the AJ Lee one, I love AJ Lee. Io Sky's my favorite right now. Love it. Israel says AEW is better than WWE. In terms of like in-ring action, I can concede to that. They have great matches, great pay-per-views as well, but I think both have great to offer in terms of pro wrestling. Salvi says they did have a show in Japan called Beast. Oh yeah, the Beast in the East on the WWE Network, but that was like treated like a glorified house show back in 2015. But yeah, it was a good show. I would love to see them go back. What's your job? Other than this, retail. Retail, other than this. Eddie Kingston's the GOAT. I miss Eddie Kingston. He's one of the best acts in AEW. His promos come off so natural. He's a real character. I love it. Big fan. WWE. I was never into the UFC. I'm more into boxing. I've always watched boxing more than UFC. Nothing against UFC. Again, if you like it, hey, great. But I've always been more of a fan of boxing and WWE. Liam says, yo, chat, what's going on? One of my favorite wrestlers as a kid was Tully Blanchard. Tully Blanchard, one half of the Brainbusters, a member of the Four Horsemen, an underrated wrestler in his own right because people only talk about his time with like Arn Anderson. Shout out to Tully Blanchard. Have you seen his daughter, Tessa Blanchard? Tessa Blanchard, what's your thoughts on her? She's a controversial figure in wrestling. Is Cena heel in real life too, or it's just WWE? Cena's a good guy. I would like to think so. Israel says, my pug wants to fight Brock Lesnar. Who do you got? With prep time? With some prep time? The pug might have a shot. Have I met any wrestler in real life? Rey Mysterio. Back in 2008. It was the Cyber Sunday event. They came over to town, and Rey Mysterio was doing like a meet and greet at a Nissan dealership. So Rey Mysterio, cool guy, humble, very cool guy. Exactly what you would hope he would be. He's the only one I met, though. Only wrestler. Liam, what's going on? What's the question? What's up, buddy? What did Tessa do? You know, it's been alleged that she's, I guess for lack of a better word, racist, and had mistreated a lot of the other women's wrestlers, spitting, getting in their face, just nasty stuff. Alleged, I mean, but I've always said where there's smoke, there's fire. I said, what would it take for me to put you in a spine buster through a table? 5,000 subs. We get to 5,000, I'll go through a table. What are your thoughts on Thunder Rosa? Do you like her? Yeah, I like Thunder Rosa. There was a spot a couple weeks ago with Megan Bain and Penelope Ford that was weird though, but I love Thunder Rosa. She's great. Pin the goal. The Midnight Express was great, man, and even back when kayfabe was strong, I genuinely just cheered for them despite the fact that they were meant to be the villains. Kayfabe is long gone. Thanks to social media, thanks to the internet. It'd be awesome to see how it would work in today's world. I only got 12 subs. That's how you start, Liam. That's how you start. 12 is a start. I was at 12 at one point. We're on the cusp of 3,000. We're trying to hit 3K by WrestleMania 41, but 12 subs is awesome. Congrats to you. That's just the start. Keep at it. She was a racist bully. Plain point. Yeah, whip. In 2 words. That's basically what it is. You want to go live? You have to hit a certain mark. But again, keep at it. Keep going, and you can get there too. Rey Mysterio taller than you or what? We're actually the same height. Ray's listed at 5'6". We're actually the same height. Did she say the N-word? Yeah. It's been reported. Pin that goal is crazy. Saw Usos walk right by me on the Las Vegas Strip after a show. They were smaller than me. Better shape, though. Smaller than, damn. That's cool, though. Each goal that's achieved, we got to do a spot. Yeah, I agree with you. What are we going to do with 3,000 then? That's a good one. I'll have to put it like in the community tab or like as a note, but we have to hit a goal for 3,000 for sure. I met Thunder Rosa twice. She's great. Awesome. Love to hear it. Love to hear when the stars are cool people. Love it. Have you ever seen the King of the Road match with Dustin versus Black? I have not. I'm still catching up on WCW. I've grew up watching the WWE, so I got to catch up on WCW. Thankfully, with the YouTube channel on WCW on YouTube, I'm able to get a little bit more, so I got to catch up on WCW. I know of the stories, but to actually sit down and watch some of the matches, got to do some homework. I'm going to share this live. Shout out to Liam. Appreciate Liam. What I have to do if I want to go in the WWE, I might not be the guy to ask, but I mean, obviously train, get in good shape, find a local wrestling school, have connections. So, but again, I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy to ask for that. Where were we? Where were we? If you're a wrestler, getting my stamp of approval is not hard to get. I don't have high standards. Right on. Do an AA on me through a table? That's crazy. I'll take the bump. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss it further for the 3,000. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Gotta make you look strong. Appreciate that, buddy. Did you see my question? Was it the Cena one? Because I said it was only for show. I don't think it's real life. Like I think he's a good dude. At least I would like to hope so. But I did answer that earlier. Absolutely is real. I believe in Joe Hendry. San Fran makes sure to ask me every day. Most brutal wrestler ever? New Jack. He tried to kill a man. Like, genuinely. He's going to be in 2K25. But I mean, other guys too. Abdullah the Butcher's a good one too. Nowadays, the look is everything. NXT will scoop you. Oscar's right. The look does matter. The look does matter. You're a bad driver? You would know. Takes one to know one, Mike. Liam singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Shout out. Nolan says, I Googled Tessa. It says she's married to Daga, a Mexican wrestler. Didn't know that. But she does speak Spanish. She cuts promos in Spanish every now and then in TNA. What up, Vacation Spree? Liam says, yep. Hey, yo. Whip says, how'd you get... Oh, the Cody Rhodes short. I don't know. Whip, I don't know. But he's talking about... Whip is talking about the Cody Rhodes short that we uploaded last year, where it was like an evolution of Cody Rhodes, and it just blew up. It's at 233,000 views. I wish I could tell you. Sometimes the videos hit, sometimes they don't. That's one of my favorite ones because that short helped put us on the map. We got so many eyes on the channel because of that short. We should buy a trampoline like the Hardys. Oh my god, can you imagine? We'd have our own backyard league. Name the best of all time GOAT for the IC belt. Oh, plus Abdullah the Butcher's Canadian. I didn't know Abdullah the Butcher was Canadian. See what I mean? For the IC belt, it's tough. I mean, Gunther's recency bias. I never liked Honky Tonk Man. Bret Hart I thought was a great IC champion. Shawn as well. Jericho's a 9-time champion. Up there. Somewhere there. It's tough. I know it's not a definitive answer. I'm sorry. So Tesla likes Mexicans but not play. I mean, I guess so. I wish Orange Cassidy would use his old theme. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, it's gonna... Mind by the Pixies? It was in the Fight Club. What movies have you starred in? Can't say. I'm not at liberty to say. Whom do you fight if you get an opportunity for a match? San Fran took my answer. I would fight Hulk Hogan. It would be a shoot fight. The shooting star press was a great move, mainly when it missed the target. And when it hits you, like, oh, that's a fancy splash. But when it misses, you're like, he just pulled it. Yeah. Liam's back. Muhammad, is John Cena heel in real life too? Or I answered that, Muhammad. It said he's on TV. Just in WWE. I already said it twice, but third time's the charm. From San Quentin Prison. No way. From San Quentin? Hell no. Nolan says versus Brock Lesnar? Absolutely not. I'm not fighting Brock Lesnar. That man would kill me. Absolute massacre. I'm not fighting Brock Lesnar. I would team with him. Not even. I can't even team with him because Cody tried to team with him, and he jumped Cody. Who should you collab with? Not sure. Depends on what you're interested in or what like kind of content you want to produce. Brock is weak now. I'm still not taking that chance. I'm still not taking that chance. What's my age? 26. 26. I feel like the last dance of Mary Jane would be a great entrance theme. That depends on the character, I suppose, or the gimmick. I would fight that jabroni Hogan and represent Sheiky Baby and Scott Steiner and Jesse Ventura. Shout out to Sheik. We're gonna keep the live going for maybe another 10 minutes. Or we'll keep it going. Let's just see how many people are involved. Because it really just depends on you guys. I've been lucky enough to meet and take pics with Rhea Ripley, Buddy Matthews, shout out. Jake Roberts and DDP, bigger shout out. Samoa Joe, Jay Lethal twice. Most were by luck except for Jake and DDP. That's a great list. That's a great list. Wow. Who was the coolest? You gotta pick one. Who do you think was the coolest? Imagine Sheiky and Steiner cutting a promo together. It would never end. It'd be a never-ending promo. The finishing move from Dean Malenko was over the top, insane. WCW late 90s and early 2000s. The cruiserweights in WCW were really the biggest selling point for WCW. Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio, Psychosis, Juventud Guerrera, Eddie Guerrero, so many guys that I'm not naming. That huge selling point of WCW at that point. Shout out. Can you collab with Jake Paul? I don't think I could at this point. If this channel becomes successful enough, never say never. Oscar, I saw your comment. It wouldn't let me. It blocked your comment, Oscar, but you're not wrong. You know, that does sell. What's your reaction if you meet Michaels? Oh, man, I don't even know. I don't even know, dude. Like, awestruck? Probably very similar to when I met Jerry Rice. I met Jerry Rice, one of the greatest football players of all time. Just starstruck. I mean, you try to keep your cool, try not to seem stupid or, you know, too eager as a fan, because at the end of the day, they're normal people like you and I. But I would love to have a conversation. You know, like, just pick his brain on the business for sure. What kind of character do you think would benefit from a song like Last Dance of Mary Jane? Truthfully, I'm not even gonna, Dwayne, I'm not even gonna front with you. I have to hear it first. I haven't heard that song. Do you support? I do support the LGBTQ plus community. Very deep, but yeah, no. You know, they say that all men are created. You are not gonna cut the freaking promo, are you? You know they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Samoa Joe and you can see the statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning, but I'm a genetic freak and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beat me. What a great promo. Messi or Ronaldo? I'm gonna go Messi. Quantum particle physics has changed everything. Deep. Too deep for my stream. That's deep. Take my sub, gladly. Appreciate it. Then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chances of winning drastic go down. See the three-way at Sacrifice, you got a 33 and a third chance of winning. But I got a 66 and a two-thirds chance of winning. So Kurt Angle knows he's not going to beat me, and he ain't even going to try. Omos, I might be able to beat Omos Nolan because they never show Omos. That man has not appeared on WWE TV in a while. Is Sanford 5 going to finish it? See, the numbers don't lie. And it spells disaster for you. A sacrifice. The problem with fans is you see them once they see you hundreds of thousands of times a day. You can take a pic with 200 fans, leave, and then the 20 that got behind. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I agree with Oscar there. At the end of the day, it's like they're people just like you and me, man. Who can beat Kurt Angle? Be honest. Like, shoot? I feel like Brock. Like, as a shoot, maybe Brock. Haku. Everyone says Haku would beat everybody. So, Samoa Joe, you take your 33rd and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning at Sacrifice. But then you take a 75% chance of winning if it was to go one-on-one, and then add 66 and two-thirds percent chance of winning. I got 141 two-third chance of winning at Sacrifice. That's a crazy promo. Rhea and Buddy Matthews, I met them at the movies in my town of Florida. I took a selfie with them, and they stood in line at the concession stand with them. But Jay Lethal seems like a cool dude. I love that answer. Rhea, Buddy, and Jay. Love it. The hardest kind of wrestling character to pull off, in my opinion, would be the one that has to seem kind, but is kind of off. Yeah, I buy that. Hair Grease says, I dated a girl named Rhea. Congratulations, man. Hopefully that went well. And you said you dated past tense, so I guess it didn't work out. Have I seen Jake the Snake's Mid-South 1984-ish wearing Chuck Norris karate red pants, giving the first DDT to a jobber, just folding him up like a letter? I've seen clips of it. The very first DDT that was like an accident. Hey, bro. Hey, what's going on, man? Welcome to the live stream. Appreciate you. Wonder how she's doing now. Hopefully well. Why haven't we seen Chris Jericho wrestle that much anymore? That's a good question. But I mean, as the Ring of Honor World Champion, I would hope that, he can still go. Probably going to drop the title soon, though. But that's a good question. We haven't seen him wrestle in a minute. Thoughts on Dr. D slapping John Stott? Oh, that slap was crazy. David Schultz? Dude, the story behind that, I love that story. Because apparently the rumors, like Vince told people that John Stossel was going around telling people that it wasn't real. And that they had to like send a message or something. And so David Schultz takes that as like a way of like, okay. So when John Stossel was questioning him on wrestling and he slaps him, damn, that was a good slap, man. I met Jimmy Uso in real life in New York. Whoa. Oh, in New York. I don't know. I thought it said Newark. In New York. Subway. I've had Jersey Mike's once. I'm gonna go Subway. Does X-Pac have a podcast? I don't know. I think everybody has a podcast at this point, though. I never use toilet covers in public restrooms. Okay, hey, Adam wins. Adam got me to break. That was funny as hell. McDonald's or Burger King? I'm gonna go McDonald's. The last time I had Burger King was like 5 years ago. And it's because they gave me moldy bread on my chicken sandwich. And I haven't gotten over it. Maybe it was the one location. But I'm more inclined to get McDonald's. Have you heard the term heteroflexible? I have not. I have not heard the term. Did Cody Rhodes get squeezed out of AEW? I feel like he did, and Jericho was a part of it. But Cody doesn't spill the beans on why. Cody doesn't spill the beans because I think there's an NDA. I think there's an agreement that they can't disclose that information. Punk said he had an NDA with Tony Khan, so they wouldn't release that information either. I think there's an NDA that Cody's not at liberty to actually speak about what happened. But it's been said that it's been not with like anybody like the wrestlers or whatever. Rumors had said maybe it was in line with like Brandy or something. It was personal. Comments were made. I don't know. Jericho being involved is interesting though. But I don't know. I don't know if we're ever gonna find out. I hope so. Because that is interesting that he helped start AEW and then he, left and now he became the biggest star in WWE today, or at least the face of the company. Because Roman is still very much up there, so that's up for debate. In and Out, absolutely. In and Out's the best. I'm biased. West Coast. Clothesline from Hell, Bradshaw. Devastating. JBL, a great heel. Swiggy or McDonald's? I don't even think we have a Swiggy out here. I've never heard of that. That's the first time I'm hearing about it. So I guess I'm inclined to go McDonald's. WWE didn't see Cody as a star, kept him down as Stardust. He was too small. Cody left, hell-bent on making himself a big name without the WWE, and he succeeded. For him to go back to WWE, he got the screw job in AEW. I don't get it. I want to know what happened. I'm sure we all do. What was the final straw for Cody to leave AEW? Who's going to be most deserving superstar for Royal Rumble all time? Are you asking who's the greatest Royal Rumble winner of all time? Or I think Austin. I think Austin's the greatest Royal Rumble participant. 36 eliminations across 6 Royal Rumbles. That's an average of 6 eliminations per appearance. He's won 3 Royal Rumbles, all from different positions. The number 5, the number 24, and the number 27 spot. Stone Cold Steve Austin, in my opinion, is the best Rumble participant of all time. Salvi makes a suggestion. If you hit 3,000 subs, you and San Fran should watch and review the movie Hulk Hogan's Best. No. No Holds Barred on Alive. Oh my god. I like the idea, but I don't like Hulk Hogan. That's an idea. And you know what, Salvi? I think you might be like the winner of most ideas getting written down. But the only issue with that is copyright. I don't think I can put that on the live. Because I think I'm gonna get copyright for that. Randy Orton. Cringe to answer your question. Randy Orton all day, every day, twice on Sunday. Randy Orton. But thank you for the question. Appreciate it. But I do like the idea. We need to have some kind of a landmark, some kind of a goal every time we hit 1,000. No, just your thoughts on that movie or any movie with a wrestler in it. Salvi, you're a big movie guy. I like that. Because I'm a big movie guy myself. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. You're okay. But it would be kind of cool to like have a live reaction. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that. Because I think I did mention it on a previous live stream where like maybe I could do a series on certain days of the week where it's like we watch a movie, or maybe twice a month we choose a movie and we do a review. So that's not a bad idea. Prime Randy or this time both. I'll pick Randy regardless. But Prime Randy. San Fran and I are big fans of 2005 Randy. Legend Killer. Speaking of Randy Orton, heard he's done. Got injured again. No way. Because he just faced off against Kevin Owens at the Chamber. Hope not. Do I have hairs? Yeah, on my chin. I don't have any on my head. I don't have any on my head. Gabs likes the idea. All right, Gab seconds it. What I could do if you guys are interested in it, is have it like as a live, because you mentioned like as a live. Um, maybe twice, because I don't want to commit to once a week because maybe I don't watch the movie, but maybe like twice a month we do a live, and it's reviewing like wrestling movies, and maybe not just like movies that have a wrestler in it, but maybe wrestling movies as well. So for example, you can have your The Marine starring John Cena. You can have See No Evil with Kane, Hulk Hogan related, or maybe we rewatch like The Iron Claw, The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, the new movie Queen of the Ring that just came out. I want to see that. So, um, but yeah, no, if that's something you guys are interested in, sure. Plus, it would help me with the ideas for streams. Because again, I don't want to take away like the Sunday, Monday, Thursday. So Thursday obviously is our throwback stream. We talk about whatever wins the poll. Monday's kind of like Monday Night Raw and kind of a hangout. And then Sunday's always just been like that extra. So yeah, that'd be cool. Freddy versus Jason, who wins in a wrestling match, and what kind of match would you put them in? I'm putting them in a cage. Don't want anyone leaving. Just a straight up Freddy versus Jason in a cage. Hell in a Cell, to be specific. I think Jason wins. I think just the pure power, the strength, his invincibility, like is that even a word, invincibility? His ability to not get hurt, durability, endurance, whatever. I think Jason wins in a Hell in a Cell match. Who has the best entrance for me? I mean, The Undertaker's a really good one. I like Simplicity, so Stone Cold's a big one. Rey Mysterio when he would pop up from the ground. Those are probably three. Eddie with the car. It's hard to answer your question because I hate that I throw out options. I don't really answer it. I'm gonna stay classic. I'm gonna say The Undertaker. Jeremy asks my thought on Mr. Perfect and Rick Rude. Two underutilized talent that the WWE didn't push. Either one of them could have been a world champion, but none of them were. Rick Rude, I think, great heel. Took like the superstar Billy Graham and like Gorgeous George and kind of combined them because he had the physique, had the attitude. Love Rick Rude. Solid worker, great Intercontinental Champion. Same with Mr. Perfect. I don't think they got their due in WWE. Obviously, Rick Rude was a champion in WCW. Kurt Hennig had a good run in the WCW as well. Yeah, two of the all-time greats. Took them a minute to put them in the Hall of Fame as well. Any NXT star having a match at WrestleMania? Roxanne Perez, maybe. I think she has a shot to have a match at Mania. Aside from her, I don't really see it because everyone's going to be at Stand and Deliver. Do I watch Mr. Bean? No, I've seen one of the movies, but I wouldn't say I watch it. I really just saw it because I was visiting like my grandparents' house or something. Blade Trinity with Triple H is a good also. Cena. Oh yeah, so Blade Trinity. Funny enough, I haven't seen Blade Trinity, so that's an option. Cena and Ricky Stenicki, I thought was funny. I like Cena. I think he's funny. I know some people in my family don't think he's too funny. I think he's funny. They both got bad injuries and led them to abuse painkillers and drugs. Mr. Perfect. Oh, his back and Rude his neck. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Two all-time legends. And that's crazy to think. I didn't even consider that. Yeah, they both, you know, got addicted with injuries got addicted to painkillers because of injuries. Becky Lynch or Liv Morgan? Becky Lynch. I'll go Becky Lynch. Women's champion. Held two titles at the same time, multiple time. Women's champion. Member of the Four Horsewomen. I'll go Becky. I love Liv, but I'll go Becky. Appreciate the questions, Cringe. I just want to thank you guys again for choosing to spend your time here on the live with us. We talked about Shawn Michaels. For those of us who had missed the discussion about Shawn Michaels. The archives will be available on YouTube. We don't take them down. You guys can see them even with the chat as well. So appreciate that. Who's going to be the most winned Royal Rumble GOAT? Austin. He's won 3 times. I don't see anybody breaking it. You can say Cody and Cena are close, but Cena's going to retire. I don't think Cody wins it. I think Austin's going to have that record for a minute. Rick Rude was on Raw and Nitro on the same night as the only wrestler to do that, I think. Yeah. Both on Monday Night Raw and on Nitro, because Monday Night Raw at that time was taped. How many times was Randy's won it twice, but I don't see him winning again. Randy won in 2009 and won in 2017. Why against Hannibal Lecter? He's going to eat me, dude. That's crazy. I guess I would just have to feed him someone else in order to survive. WWE was breaking into Hollywood and making their own movies, yes, for a while with their top talents. Did they stop doing films? Yeah, they did. Because they got to the point where they weren't really hitting. You can take him. I don't know about that, dude. I don't know about that. Anything for Bobby Lashley? No. Bobby Lashley never won the Rumble. Could have, but never did. They won the WWE title, ECW title, US title, Intercontinental title. I don't know what Teddy is asking. JR woke up with his face sagging during the Super Bowl. Who won? I am not. I am not cringe. I wouldn't be able to, honestly. Too busy. You know, between this, between work, between figuring myself out, like, not yet, buddy. Chelsea Green. Oh, I love Chelsea Green. Great character. US champion. I'm a fan of Chelsea Green. Stand and deliver. Wait and see what you can bring to the dance. Curious to see what's going to happen on SmackDown tomorrow. I believe it's in Spain, is it not? And then on Monday, we're going to be in Belgium for Monday Night Raw. So we're beginning the European tour between Monday Night Raw and SmackDown heading into WrestleMania. Hopefully they have great crowds. These international crowds have delivered as of late, so we're looking forward to it. He's proposing, that's why he's asked if you're married. Oscar, stop. I'm far too busy. One Punch Man? Noah, you're putting me up against tough competition here, buddy. Good God. Why does The Rock respect Roman Reigns? I mean, he's the tribal chief, the OTC. Maybe I'm wrong, but he might have that title reign, the 4-year title reign, might be longer than all of the title reigns The Rock has combined. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think it's far off, though. New WWE or AEW pay-per-view is Wrestle Under the Arena. New WWE or AEW pay-per-view is Wrestle Under the Arena. Gonna have to help me out. What do you think has the best? Oh, who do you think has the best tattoos on WWE? Oh, I think CM Punk and Randy Orton. I like their tattoos. Roman's a good one. Those 3. If I had to rank them, probably. It's tough. Roman, Punk, Randy. That'd be mine. For the women, Rhea Ripley. That's probably the best tattoos for the women. It's a Samoan thing you wouldn't understand, Oscar said. I mean, it's, yeah, pretty much. Why Rock Respect? Okay, why Rock Respects? There you go. So now I know what you're talking about. Jose's half Samoan, buddy. I'm not gonna claim it. I can't claim it. I'm Mexican over here, buddy. Cody slaps The Rock. Maybe that's a deep revenge. Oh yeah, their revenge, their beef goes all the way back to last year. Kane's old attire not in 2K is a crime. Is it not? So I haven't gotten 2K yet because I was waiting for the hard copy. I know you can buy it on digital. I get that, but I like having the actual copy. So I'm actually gonna get it tomorrow. It's not though. That's a shame. That's actually wild. That is not in there. But it should be. Samoa Mexican is crazy. 9702, no Kane attack. That's trash. That's the best looking Kane. We literally talked about that earlier in the stream. That's the best Kane. That first run. That's a shame. Why would they do that? Like we can have I don't know. There's some guys where it's like they have like a ton of John Cena's, but they couldn't get us one more Kane. Which type of wrestler looks OP? Mask, demon, dressing, or normally? Probably the demon dressing, right? Because that's not someone I want to mess with. One of the things Cena regrets is calling out The Rock for having the promos on his arm. Yeah, I remember that back in 2012. Was it 2012 or 2011? But it was like around that time. Yeah, when he called him out. Yeah, I remember that. I really hope Orton's not injured either. WWE show on Netflix about them hunting down memorabilia to showcase if they make a new WWE memorabilia museum thing. I'll go see it. That'd be cool. Yeah, if they had like a museum. That'd be awesome. Boogeyman Worm. Boogeyman, I remember him vividly in 2005. Have you ever seen pics? Yeah, with the cape? Yeah, it's weird. I don't like the cape look. But yeah, I've seen it. I saw somewhere I think WWE bought TNA. I think okay. They're working as partners for now. And some people have made the suggestion that they're gonna buy TNA. I don't think it's smart to buy your competition at this point in pro wrestling. It doesn't need to be a monopoly. You can work together and still benefit from it. I hope they don't buy TNA. I hope they work out an agreement where they're able to use their library so they can make like AJ Styles documentaries or utilize some of their music or stuff like that. I think that would be interesting to cross promote, but I don't believe they need to necessarily buy Total Nonstop Action. Does female wrestlers were in prime matches 2000? I mean, female wrestling in the 2000s wasn't the best. I mean, we're talking a time period where it was far, far away from what we're used to. I mean, the Terry versus the Cat was at WrestleMania 2000. Triple H, sorry, Trish Stratus was around. Lita was around. China. That's why I love AEW, aka made WWE better. Yeah, that's why it's great to have competition because it makes you better. It forces you to get better. Competition's great. They can buy it and have different people manage it. They could, Odyssey. They could, but I think TNA is doing just fine. It's on the ups right now. I don't think you necessarily have to buy it out. Again, I think partnership's fine, but I wouldn't buy it out. But they could. I see what you're saying. They could buy it and just have someone else run it. I get that. I love Maxine Dupre. I'm a fan of hers. Happy Holly from India. Shout out. TNA's been good since before '08 and when it started. Yeah. I watched TNA from like 2008 to 2011 ish. That was like at the height of when I was watching it. And I recently tried getting back into it since it went back to TNA and away from. Um, oh, okay. I see. You said has not, but still, it doesn't change what I was saying. I um I stopped watching it in like 2011, and I always kind of kept up with it. Happy Holly. Have you said what is your favorite WrestleMania of all time? Have you ever been with an India girl? I have not, Nolan. My favorite WrestleMania of all time. I haven't said it because it could always change. I usually have like a group of them together, but I think WrestleMania 21. I think that's probably my favorite WrestleMania. It was the first WrestleMania that I bought on DVD. Loved the ladder match. Loved Eddie versus Ray, Taker versus Orton, Shawn versus Kurt Angle, Cena versus JBL, Batista and Triple H. Every match, it resonates with me. It has a special part in my heart. So 21 for sure. 26, I'm biased because I went to that show. But I think 21 is better. I do. But 26 has a special spot in my heart. 19's good too. 17's great too, but 21's probably my answer. Thank you for the question, Salvi. Only reason WWE would want TNA is for the library. 100%. TNA's been staring at the barrel of bankruptcy for many years. I mean, the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins, Corgan, right? Yeah. Put money in it. Don't know if he's still. I don't think he's there. I think Anthem bought him out. But yeah, that's right. What do you think about the heel turn of Cena? Love it. I love the idea of Cody versus Cena. It's a fresh take on the character, something new. It feels big now. Like there's some reason to watch it. So yeah, love it. Great idea. Absolutely, Shawn versus Taker. That's the best match. Great matchup. One of the greatest matches of all time. Have y'all seen the moon? It's more red than Ric Flair's Crimson Mask. Yeah, they mentioned a blood moon earlier. WrestleMania 17, Rock versus Austin, which I think Austin will save Cody. I agree. Another Austin stunner to the final boss because he wasn't there last year, so this is opportunity to, make up for that. TNA has crazy money to back it. No, but TNA, I don't know about crazy money, but their partnership with WWE really helps. Cena should lose in the same way that Triple H and Shawn lost to Cena. Cody is the face and needs the win. Cena can definitely get a backlash. I think Cena beats who was the world champion. I don't think he beats Cody. I think he gets the world title. Benito says, I don't even watch it, but the cons are loaded. Or it's my AEW. Yeah, AEW has huge money. Olivia Rodrigo. I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but I like Olivia Rodrigo. Do you know programming? Like, what do you mean? Like computer programming? Or really, the world title? I think so. I don't think he's going to beat Cody. If you ask me, Cody wins because Cena's going to get more desperate to win a championship. Maybe he beats Jey Uso because Jey Uso won the Rumble. So maybe he, takes the world title from Jey later in the year. Quote me. Quote me. If Cody goes heel, do you think he will go back to the dark hair color? Yeah. I think so, Salvi. Kofi's very much into the theatrics, I think he's into it. So yeah, I think he would go back to the dark hair. What do you think of Nick Nemeth's work in TNA? I like Nick Nemeth. I was a fan of his as Dolph Ziggler. Thought he didn't get a fair shake there as well. Him winning the TNA World title was nice. I liked his work. Obviously with Joe Hendry. I want to know what's up with the JBL stuff though. We haven't got an answer for that. But I want to see where we're going with his brother, Ryan Nemeth. Not really a Ryan Nemeth guy, but we'll see. I want to start Booker T's wrestling show. They stream on YouTube. King Booker. Didn't know. Yeah, Reality of Wrestling. Every now and then I try to see an episode as well. Cody Rhodes will keep the blonde hair. Homelander. Not a bad take. I forgot about that. Of course, the Homelander gimmick, right? Maybe for a short period he'll do the black hair, but the blonde hair will be Homelander. Cringe? No, I don't. I got no business on the dark web, man. No business there. Appreciate the question, though. What's going on, Jackson? Thanks for joining the live stream. We're just hanging out, talking pro wrestling, talking Shawn Michaels, talking WrestleMania. What do you think the gear will be for Cena? That's an excellent question because I don't know. Is he just going to go dark jorts? Is he going to go just all black gear? I think that's a possibility. I don't know. But it's going to be new gear, new music, new attitude. I don't know, Odyssey. That's a really good question. I'm thinking maybe just go dark gear. Welcome. My day's going good. I'm glad to hear it, buddy. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. That's awesome. Keep it going. He stayed a low. Yeah, so I heard about that. The low cut singlet, I think, was the rumor for like his 2012 heel turn. Don't know if he still has that lying around anywhere, but it's a possibility, right? Cena's so humble, but sometimes work as a heel. I'm so looking forward to this heel Cena. Okay, guys, we're hitting the 3-hour mark here. We're going to start to close up. Any last second questions or comments, please feel free to throw them down in the chat. I'll try to get to as many of them before we close it up. Otherwise, the next stream we're going to have will be on Sunday. Sunday night will be the next live stream. So I'm going to let you guys throw in some last questions here before we head out. But quick housekeeping, tomorrow or Friday, we're going to have another video, a ranking of the WrestleMania logos. Then on Sunday, we have a live stream. Monday is the J Area Wrestling Podcast. And from there and so on, right? So let's see. Where do you think Priest stands? Seems like he got demoted to mid-card. He did. Obviously, he can't be a world champion all the time, but he did get demoted. And I think he's going to lose to Drew McIntyre. He's fallen down the card. Cena's going for Thugonomics for heel Trunk. I don't think we're going to get a Thugonomics, though. I feel like it's just going to be a different Cena, more serious. I can't see him bringing the Thugonomics back because people are going to like it and they're going to cheer that. I'm really happy, but at the same time, I'm not really happy today because we just lost two singers, one of the best of them. Rip. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Blood Moon is out. Sanfran said that. Yeah, Sanfran said that the Blood Moon is out. Did you ever get to be on a screen during the COVID era? No, I was not. I never even thought about it, honestly, because the COVID era of WWE wasn't the best. There were some highlights, but it was tough to watch without a crowd. They do make a big difference. That's for sure. But no, I was never on the screens in the Thunderdome. That would have been cool, though. But no, I was not. Okay, guys. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. And I appreciate you guys always coming out for these live streams and having just a cool conversation to hang out with me as we talk professional wrestling. We made a lot of new friends. We met some new people on the live stream, welcoming them as a part of the J Area. And I thank you guys always for your participation. Of course, I always try to make sure I voice my support for those that have been with us since day one and to thank those that have joined us along the way. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to have a video out in the afternoon for the ranking video. Hopefully you guys check that out and enjoy it. If you enjoyed this live stream, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Comment down below anything else you guys have for me. I can come back to it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you want to stay up to date with all the pro wrestling content that we produce here on YouTube. And make sure you continue to voice your opinions on those live polls to get your opinion out there onto what you want to discuss for these live streams. And if you feel ever so bold, maybe consider becoming a member of the Main Event Mafia, where you're going to get exclusive content. I know we put a poll out on the other day where I'm going to do reactions and reviews for previous pay-per-view events. For example, we're going to do one for WrestleMania. You have your choice of WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 21, 26, or 30, all having a special place in my heart. Make sure you sign up and see some more exclusive content like that. With that being said, also make sure you check out the merch. We have merch available. There's also a link in the description of the video, as well as on the About Me page on YouTube. It'll take you directly to the store itself. But of course, with that being said, major thank you to everybody in the chat, everyone that took part in the live stream. Can't thank you guys enough. My name's been Jose Ramos Jr. It's been a real good time. Everyone, hope you have a great night, a great morning. Stay safe and stay cool. We'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate you guys.